I've been trying to go live for like an hour and a half. Sorry, guys. It's been messed up. Oh shit, something's still messed up. Hold on just a second.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up, listen up.
The wall you were demolishing, did you keep the sign name?
Beat the odds,
I don't really know what you're talking about.
brains are bigger than
Probably because I have like no memory at all, but
never let the truth.
the wall.
This is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Oh, I wasn't destroying the wall. No, I wasn't destroying the sign still on the building.
World's mistakes. Wake it to
Right, all I did was pull out the existing wall and then replace it with a support, so the sign's still on the building. The part of the building is still there. That is the gallery. That was the previous owner's workshop and showroom and all that shit.
We were raised to lose the race. Wake
he was a big wood turner. He even taught a class at a local college and taught people how to do it. His apprentice came and bought all of his old equipment and wood blanks and stuff about a year ago. And then the gallery got kind of gutted. The only thing we're saving is like the roof line, which will include like the sign. Uh-oh. Stop the music. I forgot to share something. Hold on just a second. I forgot to like and share that. Like and share that. Yeah, I've been trying to go live since before 10 o'clock. Restream's been really weird tonight. It kept telling me that I didn't have an account, that I wasn't, that I couldn't connect to the Restream platform, that my shit wasn't, basically like my RTMP settings weren't correct. It was just being weird. And it would delete my, every time I like tried to connect to it, and then like backed out and then hit connect or whatever, it would delete all my settings. I had to go back and top them in again. I don't know, it was just being weird. But we're here now.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. What's happening? What's up? Got Patron in my cup. I actually made a really cool video, but I don't know if it came across on TikTok, like through my phone or not. I actually want to go see it on the computer. One complaint I've always had with my one wheel, I love my one wheel, first of all. But one complaint I've always had is the headlights aren't very bright. And I think it's because they're not meant to be headlights. They're meant to be marker lights so someone doesn't run you over. So I found these other headlights called Pint Brights, and they're like made by a third party. And they are, you get them through Etsy. This guy makes his own circuit board, solders them or whatever, has them produced, whatever. Anyways, I put some in my board, or one set in my board tonight. I bought 2 sets. So on the one wheel goes both directions. So it has a headlight and tail light. But the tail light can be a headlight and the headlight can be a tail light. So like if you're going one way, one's white and one's red, but then if you go the other way, they just swap. The other one's white and the other one's red. So I don't know if it came across in the video, but this light is super freaking bright now. So like that's the light currently. Let's see if I can jump to a spot with the previous light. Thing else. So that's the before. Very dim. See how you can barely even tell, like through my phone, that there's a light on there? I'm not in pitch black darkness, but I will be when I ride into the campground. It's kind of hard. I would love if I back up a little bit. Maybe you can see. Okay. See how you can barely tell there's a light on right there? Bump or crevice. Like it's just super dim. And then if you go here, the way the video opens, look how bright that light is. I need the brightest lights I can get. And the problem is, like if you could get the light higher. Just like on the way you see off-road vehicles, they put like lights on their roofs. If you get a light higher, you could throw a much brighter light, but you can't do that in board format unless I want to strap it at the top of my head or some shit. But it's so much freaking brighter. And then someone contacted me, sent me a message request. I'm like, who is this? It's the guy that invented it.
Brain Nike just resubscribed for 28 months. Thanks for the great content.
Oh, thank you very much. So the guy that invented it messaged me. And it's like, oh, well, you know, if you have trouble with the disconnecting, there's a way to fix that. And it was in the instructions. I just didn't read the instructions. But it wasn't the instructions to, like, flip the plug a different way to where it'll be more secure. But these are super bright. I can't wait to ride them into the campground. It's hard to tell, like, right here. I even did a time-lapse video because my time-lapses seem to do good. It's hard to tell here, but at the campground, there's no street lights. There's no anything. So let's see. And it wasn't too hard of an install. You have to take the foot pad off. You take your bumper off. You take the lid off the box, off the controller box, and then it's just one screw. Throw it in and plug it in. I'm surprised that Future Motion hasn't shut him down already, because Future Motion does not like people like making shit that goes like in the one wheel. They don't mind if you make like rails or stickers or tires, but like if you're on the inside of the one wheel, they try to shut people down. But I even did a short time-lapse video of putting it together. I don't know why that looks blue. Those are purple, like extremely purple. It looks blue on the camera, doesn't it? Like they're like the purple around my head purple, like the purple ring around my head. But for some reason, my camera makes it look blue. Anyways, the lights are bright as fuck. Now I got 2 sets. So that'd be one for me, one for Mariah. But honestly, if I like them, if they work good over the next however long, I'll probably buy 2 more sets, and that'll give me my front light and back light will be the brighter ones. And then same thing with Mariah's board, her front light and back light. Because like I said, if you go in reverse, your headlight switches to your tail light and tail light switches to headlight. But the guy who made them, you can get them on Etsy. If you just, I don't know if anybody's even interested in this. If you just search, what's it called? Punt Brights. I think the guy's name's like Mason or something. Yeah, look how much brighter that is. See the difference? This is the stock light, and this is the Punt Brights. They're a big fucking difference. So they even look like a professional made product. So I'm sure he's got them produced somewhere. I see a fume extractor, so maybe he's hand soldering them, but he has the PCBs made somewhere. There's a stock headlight. There's the Pine Brights. That's a huge difference. He's got better pictures than I do. But that is a huge freaking difference. Especially like riding on a dark-ass road with no street lights. The only thing, like there's no lights going into the campground at all. There's not a single street light. There's not, the neighbor's backyard lights. There's just nothing. If you turn off the one wheel, you can't see your hand in front of your face if the moon's not out. But yeah, they're a lot brighter. I'm excited about them. And there was a note that was in the packaging about flipping the plug the other way to make it like more secure. I didn't read it until afterwards. And I was like, oh, I should have done that. And then he sent me a message. He said if I have any connectivity issues that I can flip the plug and it'll stay in better. So there you go. The owner of it saw it. And I don't even know how he saw it. I mean, I tagged it in that video. Don't have a ton of views, but I tagged Pint Brights, or not the company. I just put hashtag Pint Brights, and somehow the dude found it. So maybe he was just searching for it tonight before he went to bed. Either way, what's up, guys? How's it going? More one-wheel madness. There's a lot going on at the campground. I found my welder today, and it was depressing. That shit is fucked up, dude. My welder is fucked. Andrew's back. Andrewski.
Some from Trump supporters saying, hey, Andrew, I used to love your content. Lately, I've been getting some comments, not a lot, but some, from Trump supporters saying, hey, Andrew, I used to love your content, but not so much anymore since you got political. And I just want to say that I don't give a fuck what you think, Muffin, okay? I don't respect you, and I certainly don't respect your opinions any more than I respect the opinions of, say, a pothole or a wet sock, okay? I just think you're kind of a dipshit. Collectively, all of you. It's like you've all got one brain cell, just pings around that brain like a DVD logo. Okay, you all are out here complaining about food dyes while guzzling raw milk. What are you, the Ash Ketchum of foodborne illnesses? Look, I know that this
Gotta catch 'em all.
Like math, probably going to go over your head, but this is why nobody likes you. Do you understand? This is why nobody wants to be around you. It's because, first of all, you're losers. You're like the Chicago Bears of people, and you're just jackasses. It's just loud braying. My eyes hurt from rolling every time I'm around one of you. You're so transparently the opposite of everything you claim to be. You're alpha males who can't get a girlfriend or pay for groceries. You're Christians who hate immigrants and the poor. You're tough guys who are scared of absolutely everything. I mean, pronouns.
That's what blows my mind.
Shake in your boots.
It's like,
you piss yourself anytime anybody.
I don't know why I won't pause. Christians who are against immigrants and the poor.
Pronouns, grammar.
Christian. They all claim that they're taking the country back to Jesus, and they're against immigrants and the poor.
For groceries, you're Christians who hate immigrants and the poor. You're tough guys who are scared of absolutely everything. I mean, pronouns, grammar makes you shake in your boots, all right? You piss yourself anytime anybody speaks Spanish in your vicinity, okay? And you know how tiring it is to have to be well-informed about reality and also well-informed about the cuckoo bananas fantasy land you've created so you don't have to take responsibility for your failures? Okay, if the trash wants to take itself out, good.
Good, he said. Good. And then, like I said, I found my welder today. Let's see if we can find that video. It's not a good situation.
Not a Miller. Look, I know it's not a Miller. It's not.
It was buried. The power cord's ripped off of it. All these cord connections are busted. The top handle's busted. The side door's fucked up. All this plastic shit's busted over here.
Bart, it's not Lincoln. It's from Harbor Freight. But
it was still like, I mean, it's from Harbor Freight, which is like a knockoff tools, like Chinese tools. But the motherfucker was still like $700.
it's what I could afford. I just fucking got this thing. And it met all my needs. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Maybe not the best idea trying to dig it out. Maybe I should just let it bury.
I wish I wouldn't even seen it. I wish I would have accidentally fucking just piled it up in the dirt or some shit and just been like, fuck it, you know. I had not even noticed it. It would have went in the river. I wish I wouldn't even seen it now. Because I saw it and I was like, oh shit, that's it. I noticed that green color. I was like, that's it. I was digging around the Mini X and I just barely saw a little corner of green. And I saw it and I was like, oh shit. Well, I found it. Maybe it's still, no.
Buried. It's a Harbor Freight welder, man. The thing was fucking awesome. I think I'd had it for like 2 months. Then Helene hit. So here we are. Look at my life in shambles. Shout out to Harbor Freight. I love the welder for the few months that I had it. I appreciate it. Look.
It's fucked. It's fucked. There is warranty, but it's like on craftsmanship and shit. It's not like a no questions asked warranty like their hand tools are. It's like if there's a defect in the craftsmanship, blah, blah, blah kind of deal. So it's fucked. I also found, I didn't make a video about it, but I found the paint sprayer. Now, the paint sprayer isn't mine, but it's like a $500 airless paint sprayer that we bought when we were doing some renovations and painting some shit. And I did find it, and it might actually work because it doesn't, I mean, it's got a piston, but it's made to have fluids go through it, so we should be able to wash that out. Maybe let the motor dry out, wash the motor real good, spray some type of water displacement like WD-40 or something on it, let it dry real good, and it might work. The welder's probably going to be a no-go. I mean, it's packed full of sand, and it's a transformer inverter welder, so all those electronic parts are full of sand and water right now. So, plus it ripped all the fucking cords out of it. It's pretty fucked. So there you go. That's a $700 paperweight, but it's still cool. It still looks green. I don't know. Do you guys know that Tucker Carlson? Oh, I actually want, before we get on Tucker Carlson, I don't know what this is. So I used to like a channel called Ren Thumb, and it's a gun channel. But I saw this last night actually while we were still streaming, or right when I got off the stream. And I don't know what this is. It's called the Ren Thumb Controversy Explained. And you know how much I love drama. Yeah, maybe it'll get enough attention to get... Harbor Freight does shit like that. I mean, they're a fucking billion-dollar company. It doesn't hurt them to fucking donate a welder, but I'd like to have a fucking welder again. I've had a bunch of, like, junky, cheap-ass welders, and I still do. I have probably a fucking $50 fucking MIG welder right now, and I've got a stick welder. This just had, like, creature comfort, like, nice things about it. It's easier to weld with. It held a good arc. It just did some nice stuff, so I enjoyed using it. And that's what I was doing all of those. The reason I bought it is because I agreed when we were doing the campground fire pits, I agreed to use my welder. Well, I was going to use my cheap, shitty-ass welder, and I welded with it for a few days. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Keeps cutting off, keeps fucking timing out. It doesn't want to hold an arc. The fucking liner's messed up. The feed rollers are messed up. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get me a good welder, and I'll have it for the rest of my life. And I had it for 3 months. I want to see what this drama is. Also, I know people are freaking out over Russia, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't. Every time that U.S. support or foreign support for Ukraine has stepped up, they've said that we'll be in nuclear war within a few months. I don't think anything's changed.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful night tonight. There's been some happenings in the gun community. Let me make sure that everything is sounding all right before we go. Seems like it has been attempting to call me for the last 10 minutes. Right before I went live. Literally, a law firm has been attempting to call me for the last 10 minutes. Let me show you guys this. I have
a law firm?
I have quite a few missed calls from a law firm. Let's pull them up, shall we? These guys want me. I was
RLF.
so I can put them live on air, but they're probably watching the stream right now. Ren Law Firm LLP. These guys want me. All right. Something about a range day in here. Maybe we should give them a call. Let's give them a call, shall we? This could be fun.
So what the fuck? Does he have this is his live stream to explain it, but did something else happen? Does he have like a short video that explains it? No, these are all old. No. So it's just the live streams. All right, let's see what the drama is. I don't know.
Thank you for calling Ren Law Firm. No one is available to answer your call.
I'll call back.
Party's extension, you may dial it at any time. For our company directory, please press the pound sign.
Nobody's there to pick up, but they were just calling me. You cowards. You're watching right now. Pick up the phone. We'll hash it out right now. We'll do it live. I don't think they're going to do that. But it's these guys. These guys are the ones trying to call me up, threaten me. Very interesting why they would do that right before I go live. Their lawyers are working overtime, moving fast. All right, so very interesting way to start the show.
Yeah, they're kind of like the paper tiger, I guess. Right? They don't want to like it would just be like it would be a fucking suicide pact. You know what I mean? But the guy who said that Europe could see nuclear war by Christmas, or they might spend Christmas in fallout shelters or whatever. He's not even an official spokesperson. He's a former spokesperson who just leaks like this shit that like Putin tells him to leak to media. And he said it multiple times when we gave them tanks, when we gave them jets, when some of they found out that some of their basically like their leadership was training here in the U.S. Like every fucking time. Every time it's stepped up any way, shape, or form, they've claimed that we're going to be in nuclear war in 3 months.
Show. Let's get rid of that real fast. Because
he left that management group that they were all part of. Okay.
So there's a timeline that I have breaking it down with all the different things, the happenings and whatnot. But I don't want this to be a hit piece or a drama piece or anything like that. If you are, most of you are probably right. You're here, right? There's a lot of happenings with Harambe Thumb, his second ex-wife, and just different things that may or may not have been happening for the last 10 years or so. So
his second ex-wife.
I wanted to kind of address some of the rumors. I got involved in this through a couple people reaching out to me and giving me information.
Can't believe that Harambe Thumb was at a P. Diddy freak-off party. Somebody put in the comments.
And of course, this law firm just calling me now, which does not bode well for my future, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, but I want to be a very moderate, as unbiased as I can be, because there are a lot of these rumors floating around there. A lot of it could be fake. Some of it could be real, but a lot of this stuff has been put out into the ether. And so it's probably a good thing to discuss some of it, think what's good, bad, probably fake. Maybe.
If you guys blow up my TikTok and Harbor Freight gives me a welder, that'd be fucking sweet.
Real, all that sort of stuff. As of right now, I do need to be very clear. This is not some sort of like hate brigade. If some of this stuff is true, it's more sad than anything. And so we're not really going to be focusing on the family stuff or like, because there's kids involved and all that sort of stuff. I've blacked out just about everything that could lead back to somebody else other than like the big players involved. You get it. We'll do as little as we can in terms of other people. Keep it very focused on the actions of one individual. And that is, of course, Mike Jones, aka Harambe Thumb. Right. Because all the tangentials, that's just not very important. Yeah, we'll kind of try and leave all that out. Ancient Bloom says, bad advice. Don't LARP as a trad Christian family man while cheating on your wife with IG sloops. Very
Don't LARP as a trad Christian family man while cheating on your wife with IG sleuts. Ooh, so he got busted maybe fucking some Instagram girls?
Possible. That's one theory that is floating around out there. But I have a comprehensive timeline. So why don't I go ahead and pull that up for you gentlemen. Let's see. Wait, no, I'm going to go to this one. All right. Is there a way to make this bigger? I'm sure there is for you guys. There we go. Look at that. All right. Now, starting out in 2018, this is Mike Jones and his first wife, who's a very private person, doesn't want to be involved in anything, totally understandable. And also just a little relevant meme from 2018. This is SHOT Show 2018, Mike and his first wife. And we have him already being in another woman's DMs on Instagram / comment section, being a little flirtatious back in 2018 with his first wife. So this goes to show a
in 2018.
Let's say my phone is still going off quite a bit, so I may be somewhat distracted. August 2024, there is a very nice post from Ashley, who is Ren Thumb's second ex at this point. Yeah, Johnny, I'm not trying to show anybody who doesn't like make their name out there. So there's a very nice public post in August of 2024 from Ashley, basically going over like how excited she is for things that are coming up and blah, 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 how happy she is to look forward towards the future, all of that stuff, right? And then fast forward to 1022 at this point. At 1022, there is a post on Ashley's public Facebook group where she has, I think, 1,500 followers, 1,500 friends, whatever you guys call it on Facebook, basically talking about how Garant and her are divorcing, and now she is a single mother of, I believe, 3, though that's...
Growing up as a single dad, I never thought I'd be a single mom. It's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. At this point, it's heartbreaking, it's unbearable. At times, my kids are truly beautiful inside and out, and they shine a lot of light in the darkness with their playfulness, smiles, hugs, kisses. If anyone has any advice for me during this time of extreme judgment in one's life, I'd sure appreciate it. Thankful for my friends, family, and community that have taken time out of their... So this is his second wife and getting a divorce, right?
It's not really important, just there are little kids involved, right? Divorce, very, very sad, terrible. I don't think I have this pulled up. No, I don't think I have that one pulled up, but there is... I'm around a little bit. No, it's fine. There is some stuff with the case if you do want to look up the actual case number itself, because again, that is public. You can look up Ada County, Idaho for all that information. That's the case number, just shows everything going on. All that happens on 1022. The file for divorce and this Facebook post are made on the same day. Now, within a couple hours of all that going down, there's a couple other things that happen that we'll get into. So the first post that sets all this off is a guy named MahM on Instagram. He got this information either from someone or directly from Ashley's Facebook, and he made a post on Instagram talking about how Garant Thumb had cheated, and he made all these allegations and whatnot, and that blew up, right? So that is October 22nd.
Allegedly, Garant Thumb allegedly is definitely allegedly a glorified bull for allegedly unsatisfied housewives and their allegedly cucked husbands. Allegedly, don't sue me. I don't want to explain this to my lawyer, allegedly. Someone put in a super chat.
Back into 2024. All of that stuff absolutely blew up, went through the stratosphere. MahM gets so much hate so fast that he takes down that post, makes a somewhat apology for it on his stories, and then takes down his entire account. He's gone. He's off the internet. He's done. He checked out. Now, before he went, he passed off some contacts and information to me that were quote unquote too hot to handle. So that is where I became involved in the situation, is 1022-24. Slightly later on from there, we get the joint post and then the clear up post from Mike, because of course this stuff went absolutely nuclear on Instagram and whatnot, just people flooding his YouTube comments, his Instagram comments, I'm sure his DMs as well.
Now, if she's expecting child support, he makes a ton of money based on his reputation. She might not want him destroyed online.
Now, to be very clear, when all this kicked off, I reached out to Mike first. That's the first thing I did, is go to Mike directly and just ask him about the allegations and whatnot. At that time, which was I believe the 22nd or the 23rd, before I had posted anything, he denied all the allegations to me. That's what he said. They're all fake. They're all false. Nothing's real. Moving on. So that was Mike's stance as of 1022/23. Right. Now, there was a post that they had made jointly talking about the divorce, basically saying, hey, we're separating, and it's, it's very sad. Please leave us alone. I actually do want to read this in full, because this post has been deleted for various reasons. Which
it's very sad. Please leave us alone.
Posted this, and this originally was a joint post between Ash and Mike, because you can combo be a collaborator on Instagram, so it would show Ren Thumb and an Ash, it would show both of them together as a collaborator. At some point, Ren Thumb removed his collaboration, and then after that, Ash just deleted the post. So this post, I screenshotted it, of course, because I'm kind of psycho, but it's all gone. It's all gone. So this post doesn't exist, but I'll read it just for context of what she said at the time. Mike and I are splitting up, and this is a really difficult and sad time for obvious reasons. It is very sad. I didn't realize the post I made was set to public. Ash is not a public figure per se, but she does have 40,000 followers on Instagram, 10 times what I do, and she has 1,500 friends on Facebook. When you post something very publicly, it was my wife found the post, right? So this was very public information. She posted this breakup post. Essentially what it was, right? So did she not realize that people were going to find it? Maybe, right? I mean, if you take her at her word, she said she didn't realize it was going to blow up, which maybe she didn't realize it was going to blow up, but it was definitely a very public post. I would not have purposely done that. Mike and I run businesses together, and we plan to keep those businesses going. That is very important. All right. So,
ooh, see? Mike and I run businesses, so she's going to come out owning part of whatever business ventures he has. So that may be his YouTube channel, it may be other things. He's a huge YouTuber, like huge. Garant Thumb is big deal.
So keep in mind the timeline. 2018, first wife. 2019, Ashley. There is a previous wife and set of kids, previous divorce. A lot of the companies are in Ashley's name to insulate Mike from his previous wife. That is...
Ooh. So a lot of the companies are already in her name, so he doesn't... So his ex-wife can't get him.
The allegation. I do not have the company documents to prove that. That is the theory, right? And so if you look at Ash's page on Instagram right now, the only link is on research. So when she says we're keeping our companies going forward, she means our companies, because her name's on there. So there is probably some... You guys gotta stop messaging me. I'm gonna get so distracted. There is now some financial incentive for Ashley to not ruin Mike's career and take down his companies, right? Because they're built off of his name. Now she kind of owns them, or is going to have some sort of settlement with them. So it would behoove her and her children, of course, there could be an altruistic reason for doing this, to not publicly blast Mike, right? There could be that financial incentive, even an altruistic financial incentive of taking care of yourself and your family, right?
Right.
But that is
she doesn't want her kids to fucking go starving.
At the end, she says that, hey, this is a private matter. Please don't repost stuff. But then she deletes the whole thing, right? So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, she knows who she is. It's Nancy Drew.
If she still stands by that or not. Now, that is the timeline up until 1022, 1023, somewhere in that time frame. But right after that is when we get the figure of Harambe. Harambe Thumb really, really pops off. Now, if you're not familiar with
Harambe Thumb, instead of Garant Thumb, it's Harambe Thumb. And this guy's leaking everything. Look, guys, I know I've been talking about 10 different women. I've been a shitbag over the past couple of days. And so it's a parody account. And I just wanted y'all to remember that I still care about Yoga Earth Medicine Bay. She's been very supportive of me this whole time. Deleting followers, unfollowing people, staying private, etc. She's so amazing. I'm so thankful to my personal trainer wife for introducing us. She's a hero too. Love my support system here in Idaho. Ooh, fun quote. I feel like the luckiest guy. I have you here fulfilling me in ways my other love does not. And suddenly all these old feelings are back. And what I've always known is back, that I love you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Unga Daddy will give you what you need. Once again, huge shout out to my Earth Medicine Yoga Bay for doing all those wonderful things for me, like going private, deleting followers, and of course for leaving the house before my wife and kids come over. Nothing makes me smile harder than seeing that white RAV4. Oh, damn, they know what she drives. Pulling the driveway and seeing her hop out in her brown sweatshirt, brown sweatpants combo so we can walk the dog together. Thank you to my personal trainer's wife for introducing us. By the way, to the girls I was inviting up over the past 2 months, Leslie is super chill and doesn't mind that I tried to court multiple people, boss. Be right back, boss. I left my kids' car seats in the driveway while it was raining again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oonga Daddy will give you what you need. Oh no, boss. Seems like these are some silly links, boss. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oonga Daddy will give you what you need. So this guy is coming out and spilling the fucking tea as Harambe Thumb instead of Grand Thumb.
He had been operating for months and months, going after different things that Ren Thumb had done. Very, very specific things. Some of the information that he has was absolutely ridiculous. And the further you go to the right on this section, the worse it gets. But this is some of the big ones. So we have Leslie here. And Harambe Thumb, if you're not familiar with him, he is satirical. He never breaks character. He's essentially like the alter ego of Ren Thumb. And so if you've ever messaged him or interacted with him in any way, he never breaks character whatsoever. So he is very funny and very intentional. He goes after basically everything Ren Thumb does. There are some reports, some inclinations.
This is gonna be
may or may not.
This is gonna be juicy as fuck, dude. I wish I was more tuned into this so I could do a show on it.
I don't really want to get into those here, but he is somebody who appeared to have very, very close information. Now, again, when I talk about being fair and getting both sides of this thing, you need to understand that you do not have to believe Harambe whatsoever. Not at all. You can treat everybody like they're lying. Interesting. Sorry, I'm still reading some messages coming in. So you do not need to treat anyone as if they're telling you 100% truth. So everything that Harambe is posting, even though it has some corroborating information or would appear to be corroborating info, you don't have to trust it whatsoever. Could all be the greatest inside hater campaign of all time. You never know. But the allegations, we'll start with the simple ones, and this is kind of one of the simple ones. Leslie. Leslie is apparently a Yoga Earth Medicine Bay, as Harambe calls her, and she lives near where the Grand Ram
Followed by Grand Thumb, so he follows her. She went private. She wasn't private before.
Ranch is at, and may or may not be involved directly with Grand Thumb. Now, if you read lives near where the Grand Ram Ranch is at, and may or may not be involved directly with Grand Thumb. Now, if you read this stuff, it is like the level of inside detail here that Harambe has is.
By the way, these big YouTubers that started doing these gun channels and blew up, they all bought fucking ranches. Like these huge fucking hundreds of acres out in the middle of fucking wherever. Idaho is where Grand Thumb is. Where they set all this shit up. They do all their testing. They do all their videos and shit. A demolition ranch is another big one.
Absolutely ridiculous. And it's all true from what I can verify on the outside. So for instance, when all this kicked off, I checked her page, which is the top screenshot, and you can see her follower and following count. And then today, another screenshot, you can see that.
So his is called Grand Ram Ranch, I think, something like that.
Followers and following have actually dropped down. Right, so when Harambe Thumb says that she was directed to unfollow and block certain people, that does tend to check out. Leslie season 2, the post a little bit more to the right. I'll just go ahead and read it. And I'm not going to read it like Harambe would, but I'll go ahead and read it for you. Once again, a huge shout out to my Earth Medicine Yoga Bay for doing all those wonderful things for me, like going private. She was public for a very short period of time after people found her, and that's how people were able to follow her. But then after that, she went private and had to unfollow and block a bunch of people. So, deleting followers and of course for leaving the house before my wife and kids come over. This is pretty like, I don't know how somebody would even know this information without either being an employee on the ranch or having like direct visual info. Like this would almost have to come from Mike himself. This is very, very specific. Nothing makes me smile harder than seeing that white RAV4 pull into my driveway and seeing her hop out in her brown sweatshirt / brown sweatpants.
Or somebody that's just observing it, right? Somebody that's talked to the wife, a friend of the wife, of the current wife, the neighbor. You know, it could be a lot of people. Somebody's an employee there.
So we can walk the dog together. Again, this information is so specific. He's basically signaling to Grand Thumb, if it's accurate, that, hey man, I know exactly what she drives, I know what she wears, I know what you guys do together. Like Harambe is in his walls, as far as I can tell. And he knows like how they got introduced. No idea how this guy has all this inside information. And we'll get to what happened to Harambe a little bit later on. By the way, to the girls I was inviting up over the past few months, Leslie is super chill and doesn't mind that I try to court multiple people boss. BRB boss. I left my kid's car seat in the driveway while it's raining again. Again, this information is so specific that this person is either just making everything up.
How would they know that multiple times he left his kids' car seats in the driveway in the rain?
It's all nonsense, or he has direct insider information somehow, right? Like actual eyes on the ground, which means that this is either like a family member or.
I don't know. I hate somebody's life's falling apart, but I just love all the little details.
Employee, right? Those are one of the two people that I can come up with that it is. All right, now that was really tame as far as the allegations go. That was very, very tame, because the further along you get into stuff, pardon my poor pun, you run into a lot of other interesting or uninteresting things, disturbing things, whatever you want to call them. So there are multiple kink websites. I believe the FetLife, Jab Plus, and a few others on there. A lot
He's on multiple kink websites.
the stuff is pixelated, blurred, or just gotten rid of because I can't even show it on YouTube, of course, without getting the channel and the stream taken down. So Mark Fry is apparently one of MahM Thumb's aliases on a certain platform. And again, this guy actually lists the archives. I have one of those archives pulled up, which I can't show you. It's just disgusting, disturbing stuff, right? All sorts of, and yeah, we don't need to get into all that. He also has a private Snapchat under the name of Tom Billion, which is, again, an alias that he would use to allegedly.
And a private, I like come and I stay hard my first orgasm, and then something going no problem can usually come 5 to 7 times. What?
Send things to women, allegedly, unless it's all of it photoshopped and faked for years, the archives of it and all that sort of stuff, theoretically possible. And then there are also...
So someone archived it. So if it's fake and they archived it, and it's a regular archive, then they've had to be setting this up for fucking multiple years, or however long it's been archived.
So the sperm donation websites that, it's very weird stuff. It's not really a dating app. It's more of like a impregnation app. And here we have his alias on there, Adam Undolf. Now, very importantly, as some people have pointed out, to get onto these apps, you have to use a verified selfie using your driver's license, right? Which is why it says verified selfie there. So now I could Photoshop all this stuff. There is still that possibility, but there are multiple screenshots of this account with verified selfies coming from different places. So it all could be faked, of course. This could be an extremely elaborate hit job. But if true, there's just some incredibly strange...
A very, 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 very elaborate hit job. We're talking about like fucking Russian election interference hit job.
Degenerate goings on in Mike's personal life. Keep in mind that he's been married to at least one, if not multiple women throughout this period where he's been engaging in some of these other activities. And I mean, if you look further on, there are some leaked stuff that, I don't know, that's...
I I come and I stay hard 1 to 2 hours to my first orgasm, then I can keep going no problem. Can usually come 5 to 7 times. I can't wait to impregnate you. I have a very high sperm count. I love your mind.
You get the picture. If you can read it, you can get it, right? Just some weird DMs and other things from people, not his wife, while he was married. And the reason why this should matter to you, not these specific actions or any of that stuff, but really the hypocrisy of it all. Because if this stuff is true, MahM Thumb has marketed himself for years as a very based role model, as a person of integrity.
Right, very traditional, even like when we're talking about gender or traditional roles, like he's very trad.
He talks about family values, and I have like 30 pages of stuff lined up. What does MahM Thumb say? What does he apparently, allegedly, theoretically, possibly do, right? And so if these things are, we'll get into this more later, but if these things are true, it's just sad.
And you know, it's like pure panic if this law firm's really been calling this guy over and over.
Right, and it's sad in a way where somebody would need help, right? They don't need to be chased off the internet and lose everything in their life, but they just need help. Like any sort of addict. If you learn somebody has some sort of crippling addiction, you wouldn't want to just, point and laugh for most of the time, unless they really deserve it, you feel like, I suppose. But they need help, right? Because a lot of these addictions, from whatever source that they may come from, are difficult to deal with on your own. So, and the money, the power, the fame, the ego probably doesn't help. All right, now this is Ash's Instagram here on the left. It's all just blurred out, of course, nobody needs to see it, but it's just showing that the Instagram post is deleted with her and Mike. It is no longer there. So what she was saying originally, I'm not sure if she still stands by that or what's going on there. That is deleted. Now, if we back up again, last week, 11/4, we have Haley Lujan, I think is her name. If you are not familiar with her.
Haley Lujan, so Lujan Saab. Training Haley Lujan so she can take over YouTube. I don't know, here she is firing at 700 yards with a Mark 12 mod 0, 5.56, 77 grain SMK.
I think I have her somewhere on here. There's a lot to get through. Where are you? Here you are. This is Haley. She is formerly part of the Army Psychological Warfare Division. I want to say.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Not an Instagram salute.
Might be getting that wrong, but she is literally a psyop. Gentlemen, we all know that women aren't real. They are agents of the state, and so as such must be avoided at all costs. Now, MahM Thumb hanging out with her and filming videos with her right after she's broken up with her boyfriend, Whistling Diesel, just post divorce. Divorce is not finalized. Divorce is just going on at the moment. It's all just a little strange. And if you want to go really deep down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole side of things, it's like, is MahM Thumb compromised? And so now he's working with federal assets or military assets to use him as propaganda against his audience, right? Now that they've got the compromising dirt on him, is he now an asset to them? You either die fighting the psyop or you live long enough to become it, sort of thing. All right, moving on. And if I can figure out, Micah is a very nice guy. I've chatted with Micah a little bit.
Cameraman farewell post. I made condescending farewell comment on his post about leaving me. Hope you do good, buddy. Chat, did I sound seething? Anyways, it's gone now, boss. But why? Was it me? Was it him? Chat, what went wrong? Reddit is crumbling, boss. Facebook is crumbling, boss. Simps have turned on me. Chat, am I cooked? He was so good to me, boss. He made a tweet in my defense. I wonder if that's still up. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
He seems like a very nice man. He's extremely talented. No problems with Michael whatsoever. He announced on 11/7 that he is leaving MahM Thumb. Now, that's not a problem. The timing is accidental.
Baldo.
A few days to, I think, 11/12 or so. Or sorry, 11/2. Micah and Lucas Botkin were absolutely, well, at least Micah was going at Lucas, just over everything. So Lucas was posting like some really basic stuff, like it's sad to see what happens to people when money, power, fame goes to their head. And then Michael was upset that he wasn't like actually tagging Harambe Thumb directly and kind of going about it in a, you know, not direct manner, like kind of like, I don't even know. I don't know the correct terminology. He can explain it better, but he was incredibly defensive of Harambe Thumb. And now he's been a long-time contributor, cameraman for Harambe Thumb. He does great work. He's extremely talented. I'm sure that he will continue to do good things in the future. But he's leaving Harambe Thumb. Now, Mike did comment on his post. I saw Mike's original comment on here, and as Harambe's post on the right says, he made a condescending farewell comment on his post about leaving me. Hope you do good, buddy. Chat, did I sound seething? Anyway, it's gone now, boss. But why? Was it me? Was it him? That comment that Harambe Thumb left on Mike's post after he announced that he's leaving is now gone. I couldn't find.
So the guy said, you know, after, I'm sure he made a, like an endearing post. This is when they're still friends. Like, it's sad to go after so many years, but big things are coming, hopefully. And, you know, it's always hard to move on. And he's like, hope you do good, buddy.
Find it. Lots and lots of supportive comments on Micah's post because Micah's a genuinely well-liked guy. I don't have anything against him whatsoever. Chat, what went wrong? Reddit is crumbling, boss. Facebook is crumbling, boss. Sims have turned on me. Chat, am I cooked? It might be. He was so good to me, boss. He made a tweet in my defense. I wonder if that's still up. You know what? Maybe we should check that live real fast. Let's see if Micah Mayfield's tweet is still up. I'm actually not entirely sure. Let's see here. No, most of it's still up. Most of it's still up. So that was just a misdirection by Mr. Harambe. All right. So 11:13. Hey, that's today. Harambe goes down. Now, not just his main account, but also his backup account and also his third account that he.
What? He got his Instagram taken down?
It called Harambe Results, implying that he was going to be going after admin. Is he administrative results now? He was going to be going after him for something that he had done in his past. I have no information on that whatsoever. That was totally a Harambe thing. I don't even know if there is anything there of interest, but apparently he created a page. Point being that as of today, they were all taken down, and then 5 minutes before I go live, I get let's see. Yeah, no, if I'm getting messages from desktop right now. If you want to pop on, man, feel free. Or if you want to hang up, that's all good. I have all that stuff. He sent me information. So the registered agent on file for this company is Ashley Jones. With an address, that's not of interest. More addresses, not of interest. So yeah, so Ashley is located on the FFL. Well, actually, it doesn't show it on the FFL, but on the actual documenting pages of Onward Consulting Group, which is, of course, their company, it does list Ashley. So that's what that looks like.
By the way, I just typed in Harambe Thumb and just on Twitter search just to see what was going on. And this is who he pretended to be. So this is Harambe Thumb's post, and it says, family posting, the most serious form of rebellion these days. So again, traditional families, they're breaking down the nuclear family. They're trying to destroy us. They hate seeing me and my wife who loves me and our kid. Kind of like he tried to be uber trad. Like, this is so fucking cringe, knowing that he was on a goddamn cum dumpster for hire website or whatever. Like, what the fuck? This might get interesting.
Reno, you can't be sending me stuff during the live chat. I just get distracted.
And not only, he was so big that he was actually being invited out to like labs and like test weapons. Like one of his recent videos I saw him, oh, well, it's probably a year old, but I saw, that's probably the most recent videos of his I've watched. I don't watch a whole lot of YouTube content anymore, but he was brought out to like a manufacturer's range or something to test the new replacement for the SAW, the squad automatic weapon. He was out there at like the manufacturer's range testing it out and shit.
All right, so that's the complete timeline of events up until right now. Now, this live stream is also live on Rumble at the moment because this could at any point be taken down, which is not great. So I would definitely bookmark this and save this for later if possible, because Harambe is down. There is a law firm involved, and that is let me pull that one back up for you guys can see that. So if I go away tomorrow, you at least know who's to blame. And that is Ren Law Firm, LLP. So I think they're the guys that are probably paid by Onward Research. That's these guys. So they tried to call me just before the stream 10, 20 times. RLF ditches their suits for their annual range day. I think these guys are the law firm of Onward Research. So if this goes down, you know who did it. All right, just some silly little memes to carry on the title.
So his law firm's out here. Yeah, so his law firm's out here doing the shit.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Yes, it is quite interesting that one of the villains of Harambe Thumb skits is a porn star accused of many things, and he became the villain. All right. And we cannot forget the biggest sponsor of the channel, which is who, Micah? Micah's not there anymore. Now, I have the original, forget the biggest sponsor of the channel, which is who, Micah? Micah's not there anymore. Now, I have the original Harambe Thumb video. Now, Harambe Thumb had this apology video on his main account, and then he took it down, and it's still on his secondary account. So this is still live, but I do have this downloaded and screenshotted. We'll go listen to this real fast.
Yeah, I've been out filming all day. Came back to a bunch of craziness. So yes, we have to address it. Yes, me and my wife are divorcing. This was something that we were working through personally. It's not too cheating. It's not too anything crazy that people have been saying online. It's very sad. We still have a lot of love for each other. We're still parenting these kids together.
Hold on. Audio
about your
leaks.
day and what you are up to. I'm just heading off to go film again. Been super busy the last few days, just filming, but it's going good. So, how are you? Oddly enough, I'm thinking about you a lot. Is that good? I think that's good. I think that means I like you. It makes me wild hearing you moan my name. I can't wait to just come deep inside your pussy when you're ovulating.
Let me see your ass, darling. I really want to see it.
Tell me
What the fuck?
what you are up to. I'm
What?
film again. Been super busy the last
That escalated so quickly.
few days, just filming, but it's going good. So, how are you? Oddly enough, I'm thinking about you a lot. Is that good? I think that's good.
By the way, so one thing you have to remember is the reason I got out of a lot of this gun community shit is it's like linked together with conspiracy shit, right? The government's always coming to take it. They're always they're going to kick down your doors. You have to hide your guns. You can't tell nobody about them. You got to do this, lose them in a boating accident. So his fans are rabidly coming out and saying, oh, well, how do we know that the government didn't put a home wrecker in there? And, they've roofied people before, and they probably got evidence on him, and that's why they're taking him down because he was standing up for our Second Amendment. When it turns out, it just seems like he was not a very traditional guy.
I think that means I like you. It makes me wild hearing you moan my name. I can't wait to just come deep inside your pussy when you're ovulating.
Let me see your ass, darling. I really want to see it.
I needed this.
Everything is crazy that I could address this to my fans. Everybody, it's personal. But unfortunately, people are...
It is personal. Indeed. All right. Let's see here. So yeah, again, I have these in more detail. This is the Leslie stuff, which again is taken down. I still have all the screenshots, but I'm sure this information is still floating around out there as well. You can check his Reddit for a lot of this stuff if you don't have it, because of course Harambe is gone, but the screenshots are everywhere. Once it's on the internet, it's forever. This is simply Mike Mayfield's post going about how he's gone, everybody wishing him well, cameraman farewell post. But let's get to hypocrisy, shall we? Throughout the years, Mike has built himself as the family man, the wondrous person, not necessarily perfect person. I want to say he's built himself like that because he hasn't done that, but a lot of his bad advice and a lot of his podcast appearances, they have a certain flair to them. So let's let Mike talk about it.
I mean, I get in trouble for saying this. Fuck it. I feel like there's one family, man. I feel like the family isn't the focus of what the United States was. And I feel like the U.S. really focused on the family, and I really do truly believe that the family unit is kind of the basis of the country.
Yeah, so he might get in trouble.
I get in trouble for saying this. Fuck it. I feel like there's one family, man. I feel like the family isn't
There's a war on families, man. The U.S. is trying to take down the families, and I'm standing strong as a family man. Try to take your gun, try to take your family.
Mike is out here trying to create as many families as possible. He is trying to reseed the next generation, as they say, allegedly, theoretically. Now, these next ones, guys, they're pretty rough. This is audio allegedly from Harambe Thumb. So, if you...
I like you. Check yes or no. And then under the boxes it says yes, no. Here's a picture of my asshole.
You tune out now, that would not surprise me, because there's a few of these.
It makes me wild hearing you moan my name. I can't wait to just come deep inside your pussy when you're ovulating.
That's enough. We don't need to hear that one twice. Thank you very much. Now, AI is certainly possible. However, I have voice messages from Harambe Thumb, also while driving, and they appear to be a match. I have the audio files saved on my computer from messages legit from Harambe Thumb's account, and they appear to be a near one-for-one match. Harambe Thumb's phone audio, Harambe Thumb's car audio, very, very difficult to fake. And again, I have legit messages from Harambe Thumb. We talked throughout the last 6 months or so a few times. Actually, almost this point, almost a year at this point. We talked a few times, so I have some voice messages from Harambe Thumb. He tends to do that while he's driving, and they appear to be a very close match. Now, am I saying that they are confirmed? No. Right? Because I can't tell you 100% that these are real and not spliced together and then just perfectly set up to sound identical. It's possible, right? That is a very, very in-depth fake, if that is true. No, Art Vandalay, fortunately, he did not say something similar to me. We were actually talking about the Jackal back in the day. So I don't really want to play mine, but I do have them. And they're saved on my computer, so if somebody comes at me, I have them. Right. But, all right. Some more Harambe Thumb.
Let's say women kind of are in a terrible position due to how lost men are.
Now, he's correct, obviously. I think that the modern man is in a really terrible spot. I think that they don't have very good role models. I think that a lot of their role models tend to be scumbags, right? Or they turn out to be scumbags, right? So what he's saying here, I don't think is incorrect in any way. But I think when he comes to a lot of the problems that modern men have, I have a little bit different perspective on this. One, you can say, oh, he's just being hypocritical, he's doing all these things, but it's almost like he knows, right? He knows there's a problem, almost like a cry for help in a way, right? Because you can listen to how he talks about this stuff, and he's sincere about it, and he's correct about it.
Let's say women kind of are in a terrible position due to how lost men are when it comes to relationships and how they're treating women, how they're treating sex, and how they're treating so many things.
There's so many temptations.
There's a hot Liberty Warrior take where they're demasculating men, and where are you, men? Let me hear you roar.
There's porn. There's not a lot of things in the world that are celebrating having a good marriage.
Porn has destroyed young men.
Yeah.
Literally has destroyed young men. It's been.
Oh, you want to hear something else that's going to be super fucking spicy in a bit? the sworn affidavits, witness testimony of the person who was sexually assaulted, a minor, and the witness who saw it by Matt Gaetz was hacked and stolen from a website like Dropbox, but that lawyers use. I forget, it's called FileShare, so ShareFile, something. The Matt Gaetz evidence was fucking hacked. Now, it hasn't been released, but please fucking release it. There are some people in Congress saying that they will not even vote on confirmation or not. So if you don't know, Matt Gaetz got away with what a lot of people think is like trafficking. Like they were definitely paying minors to be quiet, right? They claim it's not all real, but they were they were sending money to minors, okay? And the minors claim it was because they had sex with them and they were trying to pay him off. Him and his buddy, who he helped out. Now, he got away on charges from that, right? He wasn't officially charged. But the Congress Ethics Committee wanted to do a full investigation and figure out why he wasn't charged. Was there evidence there? What's actually going on? Let's see the evidence. We all need to know this, right? If he's working around this, he's representing the people, he's a government official, we need to know what evidence was there or wasn't there. Maybe they get a report and there's nothing there, right? That was supposed to come out literally days after Trump nominated him for Attorney General. He used that nomination as Attorney General to step down from Congress, right? He's stepping down. Oh, I've been nominated, so now I have to step down from Congress. When he stepped down, that froze the House Ethics Committee. The report's ready. The people on the committee have already seen it, signed off on it, read it, did their thing. But they were just about to release it. They were just about to release it. And that's when he stepped down and it's all froze. Now, there are some people in Congress demanding, like, the report's ready. He wants to be AG. He's been nominated. I will not vote for confirmation until I see it. I don't know if there's enough people like that, but there are some people saying that. This has nothing to do with the Ethics Committee shit. This is the actual case that went on, or the research for a case, and the victim testimony and a witness testimony that the lawyers were sending this information back and forth using a FileShare website. A hacker has got in there. A lawyer from Matt Gaetz spoke about it. He wouldn't mention what it's about. He didn't want to talk about the case. He didn't want to talk about nothing. Just that hackers had gotten it and it hadn't been released yet.
27 months.
Please, I want to see it. I want to hear.
And probably no worse thing than Playboy and Pornhub and all the stuff you see on it, especially nowadays where it's entirely free. It's entirely free. And it's crushworthy too, because now you see somebody going to turn OnlyFans and stuff, and feel like it's a validation. Now sex work is positive and blah, blah, blah.
No, that last
right, now sex work is positive. Women have OnlyFans. Dude, you were on a cum dumpster website, dude. He was on a website for breeding fetishes, trying to meet up with women, and he's worried about... Have you ever noticed? Hardly anybody, there are some people, but I would say the vast majority of people had no fucking problem with porn. Right? They just didn't want to see it, but they didn't talk about it. They didn't fucking fixate over it. They didn't complain about it all the time until the women that were in the porn started making the money from the porn, right? So when they're in the porn industry, they're being taken advantage of. They're being paid shitty wages. Some production companies taking over and making all the money while they're treated like shit. They're not paid like shit, and they're down. But when they go to OnlyFans and do the exact same content, some of it less hardcore, just like nudes and shit, now everybody's like, oh my God, OnlyFans. I can't believe they're OnlyFans. Are you just mad because they're doing it themselves rather than going to a porn company now? I don't understand.
He's saying like what they're saying. He's not actually saying sex work is positive. Although, when you look at some of the leaked audio, you look at some of the leaked DMs and whatnot that are floating around on Instagram, everything that he said there is very correct. And I agree with what he's saying there, right? You know, men are lost. They turn to easy, convenient things rather than difficult things. Women are incentivized to be whores, and they get rewarded for it by weak men. It's a really terrible situation for everybody. Listen, I'm married. I dated my wife for 10 years. We just had our 10-year anniversary on the 2nd. We had our 5th wedding anniversary also 5 days ago or 8 days ago now. But so like, I get it. Like, if I was dating now, nightmare scenario, absolute nightmare scenario. For men looking for women nowadays, I don't know what I would do. I can barely talk to a computer screen, let alone a woman. So for me, I am very glad that I do not have that level of charisma or speaking ability. Yeah, not me. Not for me. I am glad that I am out of the market. And Grantham's supposed to be as well. Oh dear. Moving on.
Let me see your ass, darling. I really want to see it.
All right, so you guys don't want to hear that.
Did he say ass hair? Let me see your ass hair? Is that what he's saying? Let me slow it down. I think he's saying, let me see your ass hair. I really want to see it.
Let me see your ass, darling. I really want to
Darling? Is he saying darling? Maybe it's just that sped up.
see it.
All right, so you guys don't want to hear that 10 times in a row, I don't think, right? Yeah, so this is going over again. This is Harambe Thumb and that audio. Now, this is different audio.
Let me see your ass, darling. I really want to see it.
So this is different audio that, again, all this stuff has allegedly been sent to Harambe Thumb, and then Harambe posted on his reels and whatnot. Now, this was about the deleted divorce announcement post that was on his main Instagram. That is deleted off of his main Instagram, but it is still on his backup. And then, of course, a lot of people like me have it downloaded. Yeah, he says, I swear it's only to preserve my image, not because it was a complete lie.
By the way, you know how many Trump supporters used to fucking love? I think that he's had a few decent takes, right? They used to fucking love Trey Gowdy. You know who I'm talking about? The guy with like the white hair. I guess, was he a lawyer? Is that what he did? Federal prosecutor or something, probably. But they used to love his legal take. They used to love his opinion. They used to love everything about him. Now that he's anti-Matt Gaetz, being attorney general, here's a post from NC Patriot lady. It says, Trey Gowdy is a rhino hack that isn't worthy to lick Matt Gaetz's shoes. He's a Paul Ryan lapdog. They used to love that motherfucker. I mean, worship everything he said. He had so many viral clips of him just like freaking out and talking over, you know, somebody that they were fucking interviewing at Congress or whatever. Not anymore.
I definitely wasn't sending mirror selfies to chicks with my pants down and offering trips to Idaho weeks prior to my wife posting on Facebook about being a single mom. I 100% was not doing that from my main account and begging to see some ass in voice messages. Dad advice: when you're sneaking around on your wife using your main IG, if the other woman rejects you, block her fast, boss, and pray she doesn't have screenshots. Again,
and pray she doesn't have screenshots. Is it safe now, right, boss? Enough times has passed. Okay, good. I went ahead and deleted the reel I posted on October 22. You remember the one where I said I was getting a divorce and the cheating allegations were all so crazy? Yeah, it's gone now, boss. Oh, shit. It's still in my backup. I'm a fucking idiot. I swear it's only to preserve my image, not because it was a complete lie. I definitely wasn't sending mirror selfies to chicks with my pants pulled down and offering trips to Idaho weeks prior to my wife posting on Facebook about being a single mom. I 100% was not doing that from my main account and begging to see some ass in voice messages. That advice: when you're sneaking around on your wife using your main Instagram, if the other woman rejects you, block her fast, boss, and pray she doesn't have the screenshots. Damn, dude.
He has very specific information. I cannot vouch for any of it as gospel whatsoever, but he always appears to have very direct information on things. All right, moving on.
Okay, next question. So when it comes to relationships, I know you've kind of not been doing them, but what are some things that are important to you? I mean, beyond, communication, I believe that,
That's 100% him. That's not fucking AI. There's too many little ticks. It's too continuous. It's too smooth. That's 100% him.
At the end of the day, you should be able to speak very frankly with one another because, relationship is not about being perfect, not necessarily be perfect, but at the end of the day, you should be able to come together and be able to talk about things that we're doing.
Trey Gowdy has had some decent takes on some things. He's not always wrong about everything. You can tell he's educated and he's smart. He'll still lay down the party line and say something stupid that he knows isn't true because it supports his party. But he's also said some stuff that is independently true.
Good things that didn't work and be able to talk very, as a working through it together to make sure that nothing builds.
Now, something that also needs to be said is that these clips have no context, right? So Harambe Thumb does not post his senders, does not post anything like that, just the raw audio clips. So that conversation, very allegedly, is to one of the apparent...
Matt Gaetz... This isn't even disputed. Okay, this is a fact. Matt Gaetz sent over $10,000 to two women who were later witnesses in his sexual misconduct probe. That's not it. That's not even disputed. So he sends $300 for a car deductible, $200 for a gift, $417 for a reimbursement, $437 for tickets, $400 for refreshments, $300 that just says love you, $650 that says travel, $400 that says cartridges, $250 that says travel, $250 that says hi, $420 that says joy. That's $4,000 right there that he just sent to some woman, right? Venmo. He used Venmo and was paying these women that he's not related to, not married to, doesn't know in a way that isn't shady, right? It's not like, oh, that's my cousin's kid, and they're trying to get through college and ask for some help or something. It's not that. Random fucking women, and he's sending them $10,000 on Venmo and PayPal. There was also something about, like, he said I'm almost positive, I can't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure either him or the other guy said something about they had to keep the limits, like the amounts, low, because if it went so high, we get flagged a different way, and that would come back and blah, blah, blah. ABC News previously reported that the House investigators had subpoenaed Venmo for Gates records and had been showing them to witnesses, asking if they were for sex or drugs. The Venmo records, totaling over $10,000 in payments, were shown to witnesses who testified that some of the payments were from Gates and were for sex. A source familiar with the investigation told ABC News. Gates, who was tapped last Wednesday by President-elect Donald Trump to serve as Attorney General in the incoming administration, resigned from the House immediately following Trump's announcement, just days before the House Ethics Committee was set to consider releasing a report on its investigation into Florida congressman, according to sources. Like, they always talk about save the kids, right? Protect the children. He's a predator. In my opinion, I think he's 100% a predator.
Apparently, multiple women he was conversing with at the same time. I do have some of this other stuff pulled up, and it gets into detail, but essentially, we're not talking about a simple case of cheating. We're talking about repeated with multiple women allegedly at the same time.
But now what he gets to do is say that these leaks are, a political stunt because they want to undermine Donald Trump and they want to undermine the Justice Department and make it seem like blah, 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 whatever. That's what he gets to say now. And one listed a payment for a flight in the phrase extra for you. The alleged flight payment appears to align with September 2018 trip to the Bahamas, which ABC News previously reported was part of the Justice Department investigation into Gates. In other payments, emojis like a wrapped gift or the hug emoji are used, the records show. The payment records also show that in early January 2019, both witnesses received mirroring payments labeled for travel around the time Gates allegedly arranged for the two women to fly to New York for sex and to accompany him to an appearance on the Fox News Outnumbered, as ABC previously reported. The Ethics Committee also obtained a signed check made out to cash and dated October 2018, allegedly from Gates for $750, with the memo reading tuition reimbursement. A witness testified to the committee that Gates gave her that check, according to a source familiar with the matter. Gates' name is printed at the top left of the check, along with an address. Gates previously dismissed allegations that he paid for sex, saying that someone is trying to recategorize my generosity to ex-girlfriends as something untoward. The House Ethics Committee is expected to meet on Wednesday and discuss whether to vote to release its report on Gates, despite the fact that its investigation ended when Gates resigned from the House. He fucking resigned. And that might be the only reason that Trump nominated him. He gave him an out. They're friends.
Right. Multiple. And not to mention some of the other stuff, which we'll wrap up with things at the end, probably about 20 minutes or so. All right, more Mike.
Individualism is really, really hurting people trying to get into relationships. And you see it, people are just in it for like the short-term pleasure and not committing into a relationship because it's going to steal their vibe or it's going to kill their career or what have you. But like marriage and kids is like the greatest thing. And literally, for millions of years.
I mean, Mike has had more marriages than most of us here, and he's probably working towards his third eventually. So he does love marriage. But when he talks about, like non-committal type stuff, or when he talks about
Matt Gaetz is unqualified and he's fucking a predator, in my opinion. There's a lot of people that Trump could have nominated. I'd be like, fuck, I hate that guy. Matt Gaetz is beyond that.
Like having kids and whatnot, there appears to be a pattern of a impregnation fetish going on here when we get into some of the messages going back to his different like BDSM accounts on different dating apps and some of his like Reddit history as Mark Fry 909, I think is the one. And just some of the other things that are in these voice clips and whatnot. It seems that his desire is to just knock up random women, as many as possible, sort of like a white Genghis Khan, if you will. Now, morally, I think that's wrong, of course. You're married.
Got to spread his seed.
That shouldn't be your goal. All these things are, of course, alleged as well. But this is like, it's beyond the point of like just wanting to have a wife and kids. It's a weird fetishy power fantasy type thing. Like, this is really strange behavior if you believe any of it. Right, it's Chupa Chup says it's not a fetish because it's literally what we're evolved to do. Yeah, you're of course evolved to procreate, right? We all agree with that. But getting off on the idea of simply impregnating, it's not normal, right? This is not, if it's normal for you, don't come around near my children, stay in your little lane and face the wall. But like,
the thing is, two women came forward to the ethics committee and said that they were paid by Matt Gaetz for sex. Now, they're both adults, but one of those women said that she was a witness to Gates having sex with a 17-year-old at a house party in Florida. So the two women that came forward are both adults, but one of them is a witness to a minor.
Yeah, that's what I'll say on that. Anyways, moving on.
And so she's been doing it not because it was her duty, but because it's freaking awesome, dude. It's like marriage kids is wonderful, and pairing with a partner and raising kids together and watching them grow is incredible.
Yeah.
So good, in fact, that for millions of years up until this generation, birth rates are increasing. It's only now that birth rates are starting to fall.
Mike is the one-man army trying to single-handedly raise birth rates in the U.S. right now.
Also, speaking of these scandalous bullshit, right, is P. Diddy is now in some trouble. So they've subpoenaed a bunch of shit. They raided his cell because he was using other people's phones and phone cards and call time and other people to send out orders to ask people or to tell people not to testify against them and all this shit, witness tampering and intimidation. And they raided his cell and seized all his notes and records he had been keeping. Now, his lawyer come in and said, oh, well, that's attorney-client privilege. Some of that is. You can't use that. So the FBI had a third party go through it and make sure none of it was. The same way that there was a Trump case that was going on, and they had to have an independent third party make sure none of it was attorney-client privileged information. Same thing they're doing with P. Diddy right now.
Now, if you're unfamiliar, these clips are from a podcast that has been deleted. I believe it's Girls Gone Right is the name of the podcast. They've done a bunch of stuff. With Mike, different vlogs and whatnot out in Idaho. And so they've also been on a podcast talking about their marriage, how to be good at marriage, different pros and cons, different techniques and whatnot. That podcast has been deleted. You can't find it. Before I could go and download it, it was deleted. So I wasn't fast enough. My optimism was not strong enough to download that fast enough. So so this is what the image that he's presented on different podcasts. This is what he says at the end of a lot of his videos and whatnot. Now, at no point am I claiming that Mike is a bad father, right? I hope that he loves his kids perfectly and he does his best. But when it comes to like being a good husband and stuff like that, allegedly not great, right? All right, moving on.
Well, sorry for the voice that I'm driving. Obviously retired military, did military things, served in Air Force Special Operations, really good career. I'm a former Air Force Special Warfare member. I was a TAC-D, right?
Yeah. So anyways, Grantham.
I'm screaming so hard at Deep Boss, blocking everyone who brings up my infidelities on my YouTube comments. They are flooded with people talking shit. I've been blocking people who comment on my Instagram posts too. It's okay though, boss. I'm literally not worried about having people with morals follow me or people who are mature. I really want young people to follow me and let me train them. Yes, of course, only firearms training, boss. What else could I possibly want to do with young people? I mean, I'm doing so well with being wholesome, boss. Why wouldn't you want me as a role model for your young, impressionable people? I mean, I'm already claiming to them and women I try to rizz up that my entire career was Air Force Special Operations. Hopefully, they think I was deployed, boss. So apparently he's lying about his military career.
Has been in a bit of a meltdown mode. I did reach out to him to see if he was going to address any of the stuff. He never got back to me. He hasn't blocked me yet though, but he did not get back to me as to whether or not he was going to address any of the stuff. This one isn't bad. You can listen to that, right? But it's just strange that he's sending these to multiple women. I think Harambe mentions 11 different women that have given him information on this, allegedly, right? If you believe Harambe. It's just weird. Kind of come out to Idaho so I can impregnate you and you can go home or something. I don't know. But yeah, he's also been in a bit of meltdown. If you look on his Instagram, he'll block you. I believe there are certain blocked words in his YouTube comment section as well. Surprised I am not blocked yet, but apparently not. Girls Gone Right is now one chick. Is it really? That's funny. That's funny. He is absolutely blocking me after this. He hasn't messaged me. Last time I was streaming, he messaged me during the stream, but I don't think he is going to do that today. I don't think that's possible. Somebody's requesting me. All right, just making sure. Moving on. Yeah, so this is again the Lu Zhujan, or whatever her name is, Lujan. She plays into the meme about being a psyop. She's just a generic pretty girl. Whatever. Moving on.
She plays the meme about being a psyop.
When did men become so weak?
See, right, the pattern of hypocrisy.
I have so much baggage, boss. All these entanglements with women outside my trad cath marriage, traditional Catholic, boss. Calling all simps. Report the page that gives my women victims a voice, boss. Remember when I made a reel asking when men became so weak?
Here, it's just
very Liberty Warrior vibes.
It's a little rough, right? When you put it all together, if it's not all fake and gay, it's just a little rough. And so Harambe Thumb's page was reported multiple times for something, but essentially if you mass flag a page enough, it'll get taken down. So his accounts had gotten taken down a couple of times, and then today apparently was the final straw. Private P-Pants, we've already played the ass clip, if you will. So yeah, Jonathan Picone says, she a plain Jane squad fluffer. Just a generic barracks bunny, as they say. A squad slam piece. Moving on.
Homie Hopper.
I also worked hard with therapists and stuff to be able to be pretty open about talking about myself. It was difficult after having served in the military, but I would say I'm impulsive, I'm impatient. I know those are things that I deal with. Beyond that, I'm definitely a doer. In a dream.
He's been doing a lot.
So yeah, Gates has a good friend named Joel Greenberg who was literally trafficking minors and introducing them to other adult men. And Gates has very, very, very ironclad ties with that guy.
Of different people.
I don't think there obviously wasn't enough evidence to bring charges against him, but I think there's enough evidence to where most people would be like, I can't believe he got away with that if they saw the evidence. That'd be my case.
Execute on those actions.
That'd be my guess.
Kind of push forward because I believe that in times like the now, which probably is the reason for the impatience.
Very impatient. Very impatient. He's got things to do. He's got people to do. All right, I think this is the last one, which is fun. This should have all the audio put into it.
So tell me about your day and what you were up to. I'm just heading off to go film again. Been super busy the last few days, just filming, but it's going good. So how are you?
The girl came forward. Her lawyer came on, the 17-year-old, and said, yeah, he had sex with me when I was 17 at a party.
Oddly enough, I'm thinking about you a lot. Is that good? I think that's good. That means I like you.
Great. Well, Mary.
One, I was cheating on my wife the entire time we were married with multiple women. I had to lie to everyone when I told them I wasn't. 2, I lied on podcasts to project a perfect husband-father figure. 3, Leslie is a girl I met through my personal trainer's wife. We love the Mecca Gym in Meridian. 4, my Cameron left me. 5, I'm on multiple kink websites to include FetLife and Jab Plus, I guess. 6, 11 women so far I've been telling their experiences of how I tried to weasel my way into their pants, multiple audios and quotes and screenshots. 7, my secret Snapchat name is Tom Dillon. 8, I've sent women unsolicited dick pics to convince them to come to Idaho after they told me no and to stop contacting them. 9, my actions go back over a decade and pre-trend and roids. Stop blaming it on those. It's just who I am, boss. I'm just a drama kid from California who finally found a way to get famous. 11, I gaslight women when they catch me on my BS and try to make them feel like they are at fault or crazy or causing me to hit the self-delete button. So he threatens suicide.
Great. While married, he's sending this to other people, right?
It makes me wild hearing you know my name. I can't wait to just come deep inside your pussy when you're ovulating.
Let me see your ass, darling. I really want to see it.
Now, that last one, the ass clip, we'll call it, it sounds like he's either drunk or on some sort of other substances. Now, my sources and Harambe's sources are not the same, because a lot of the things that Harambe has talked about, I've had no idea about whatsoever, and Harambe hasn't talked about certain things that I was made aware of. So there's not too many more of the allegation type stuff that I really want to get into, but the season 1 recap, right? So number 1, I was cheating on my wife the entire time. We were married with multiple women. I lied to everyone when I told them I wasn't. Right, so this is allegedly, since 2019, he's had multiple different women. Keep in mind that the reason his first marriage broke up, allegedly,
this is crazy, dude.
Different women, right? And then now Ashley is on.
This is crazy.
To insulate Mike from his first marriage, right? How's that working out for you? Number 2, I lied on podcast to project I was a perfect husband/father figure. He did that.
You think he ever meets up with Scott Rogers at the Motel 6?
Do you want to go back to this one? This is actually like 2 years ago on the bridge, right? So this is on Haley's strategic podcast. This actually might be 3 years ago. And Mike is a different human being at this point. So Mike is like legitimately 20 pounds of contractile tissue down from where he currently is, because he's been on the Sawzwell in the time being. But he's open about it. He talks about TRT plus, as I'll call it TRT plus. All right.
So he's definitely on some type of hormone therapy. He claims, I think the claim, I'm not positive about this, I think the claim is that he is just on testosterone replacement, but I'm pretty sure he's on some pretty hardcore fucking steroids, right?
I'm the only Republican in Congress who takes no lobbyist money, no special interest money. I work for you, not them. Let's go get them. Thank you all so much.
Matt Gates, we have an award for you. My name is Michael. I'm with the Strongsville GOP, the 2023 Strongsville GOP Award. Thank you all so much. Congratulations for your dedication to using Venmo to allegedly paying underage girls to have sex with you. What did I do? I'm with them. I'm with them. I'm with them. Matt Gates deserves this award. Whoa, easy, pal.
Take a walk.
Excuse me, that's rude.
Get off the property.
Say you're
trespass. Get off the property or go to jail.
Say you're
That's
sorry.
your warning.
Say you're sorry, you meanies.
Thank you all so much.
Most Venmo payments to allegedly pay underage girls for sex.
All right. Number 3, Leslie is a girl I met through my personal
I'm with them.
Again, the information that this guy has is so specific. It has to be a tell to let Ren Thumb that he knows exactly what he's doing. Or he's just a crazy man making stuff up, right? Now, if he was a crazy man, I'm pretty sure I would be like, I don't even go to that gym. I've never been there. That gym doesn't even exist, right? If it was all fake, it'd be very, very easy to disprove. Allegedly, theoretically. Number 4, my cameraman left me, yeah. Now, that could not be anything, right? That could be Micah just, he thinks that he wants to pursue his own dreams and he just happened to leave right after Ren Thumb has all these allegations against him, right? That is a possibility. Number 5, I'm on multiple kink websites to include FetLife and Jab Plus. Number 6, 11 women so far have been telling their experiences of how I tried to weasel my way into their pants. Multiple audios and quotes and screenshots, some of which we've seen. A lot of those are here in the original time frame. And again, the Mark Fry Reddit archives still do exist, should you be so brave. And of course, there are other things on here that you really don't want to get into. Yeah. Number 8, my secret Snapchat name is Tom Dillon. Now, Tom Dillon is, of course, an alias that he used allegedly to interact with other women. Protected. Snapchat is relatively discreet, not perfectly, but relatively discreet. But screenshots from their verifying locations have been shared. All right. Number 8, I sent women unsolicited dick pics to convince them to come to Idaho after they told me no and to stop contacting them. That one, oh, sorry, I'm on the right page. My bad, guys. Sorry. My actions go back over a decade pre-trend and roids. Stop blaming it on those. It's just who I am, boss. Now, that is true. The allegations do go back a decade at this point. Now, the last 2 years or so, he's on a variety of different substances, right? He's admitted to like TRT+, right? So none of that is hidden, right? A lot of that was for, I believe he has a back injury or a neck injury from his service from a bad jump in the Air Force, right? Because he was a SEER instructor in the military. So TRT plus other substances can actually help you recover, help you rebuild muscle, just help out your quality of life. Especially, I think he's 38 now, so some men just need TRT if they have naturally low testosterone or if they've sustained a lot of damage over the years from various other things. It's not that much. So I don't have any sort of shame for somebody being on a performance-enhancing drug. It's much like alcohol. To me, I personally don't drink. I've never had alcohol. I'm an extremely boring person. Never done recreational drugs, anything like that. But if you just want to like get big and look good, that's fine. But like if you like to drink, that's okay. But if you have little kids and whatnot, you need to be very cognizant of how that affects your health, right? So that's where it comes into play for me personally. Where like if you're just doing like grams of gear a week or something like that, that's not conducive to long-term health. And you have
he's on some gear.
1% better, right? Especially if it's not your job. Especially if it's not your job. HSB snake for
Butthead.
Yeah. Spectacular rail trip. I really want to see it. Yeah. But so I don't think that test and tran and a lot of these other drugs will just turn you into a freak. However, they can enhance your activities, right? So, you could have some predilections that get aggravated by use of certain compounds that feed into delusions of grandeur. Sex drive goes up to from 9, right? If he's already like a natural 9, goes up to like a 13.
Didn't somebody mention Dr. Oz?
Dr. Oz, help us. Well, first, we need our mojo back. Let's start with things that are really critical to the nation where we think we might be able to open without getting into a lot of trouble. I tell you, schools are a very appetizing opportunity. I just saw a nice piece in The Lancet arguing that the opening of schools may only cost us 2 to 3% in terms of total mortality. And, that's any life is a life lost. But to get every child back into a school where they're safely being educated, being fed, and
2 to 3% of children dying. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get schools open.
Making the most out of their lives with the theoretical risk on the backside. It might be a trade-off some folks would consider. We need to get industry back, supply lines. I mean, things that we can do with.
Sounds great to me.
Or something like that. Lots of things could be affecting it, but if what this says is true, it only enhanced what was already there. It didn't change him into some sort of sex-mean monster. He was already that just behind the curtain. My actions go back over a decade pre-trend and roids to stop blaming it on those bosses. Just who I am, boss. Number 10, I'm just a drama kid from California who finally found a way to get famous. Now this goes back to Mike. Mike was a drama kid in high school. That was the thing. So it translated well to his YouTube career for sure. And I like Grant Thumb's content. I think Grant Thumb's first 5 years on YouTube were fantastic. Really entertaining first minute, 90 seconds or so, and then like 20 minutes of really good information. So I'm a big fan of the first 5 years or so of Grant Thumb's content. I think it's great. And that's where I started to watch his content. And then when he started to do like, are these fake breasts bulletproof? It's like, this is just like nonsense money slap at this point. And the last one, this one is an allegation with no screenshots or audio to back it up. So this one here, even I'm very, very dubious of. I gaslight women when they catch me on my DS and try to make them feel like they're at fault or crazy or causing me to hit the self-delete button. That's a weird one. I haven't seen anything to back up or confirm that or heard that from anything on my side. So yeah. Now Cutout has a really good point. Mike has the Holy Mother Mary tattooed on his right forearm, left forearm. They have this presentation of a very trad calf family, right? This stuff, it's just very strange when you combine it all together, right? Just some of the weird imagery and whatnot, right? It's just strange. It's just very.
What the fuck? November 19th, from Texas General Land Office, November 19th, 2024, to President-elect Donald J. Trump, Mar-a-Lago Club, 1100 South Ocean Boulevard, Palm Beach, Florida, 33480. Subject, Texas offering 1,400 acres of land adjacent to the Texas-Mexico border for construction of deportation facilities. Dear President Trump, I'm writing to formally offer you 1,402 acres of land in Starr County, Texas to be used to construct deportation facilities. The Texas General Land Office, the GLO, currently owns 1,402-acre tract, roughly 35 miles west of McAllen, Texas. My office is fully prepared to enter into an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or United States Border Patrol to allow a facility to be built for processing, detention, and coordination of the largest deportation of violent criminals in the nation's history. As Texas Land Commissioner, I recently acquired this 1,402-acre ranch along the border of Rio Grande City. In less than 24 hours after the purchase on October 23rd, 2024, I granted a 7,681-foot-long, 1.45-mile easement across the property, allowing our Texas border wall to be built. The previous owner had refused to allow the wall to be built and actively blocked law enforcement from accessing the property. Her actions enabled cartel members and violent criminals to sexually abuse migrant women and children on this land for some time. At my direction, since serving as the head of this agency, the GLO has won several significant victories. Look, guys, like I know that it's like a trope to be like, oh, they just call him a Nazi over and 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 over again. If you voted for Mexican concentration camps, you might be the Nazi.
Very, very strange. All right. I think that, well, yeah, we have some super chats to get to real fast, but that's...
But I thought eggs was going to be cheaper. You voted for concentration camps, bro. But I thought gas would get down below $2 a gallon. You voted for concentration camps.
It's the season 1 recap. Now, what I will say is, moving back to here, is that Harambe Thumb is gone. They got him. He's probably not coming back. He's probably gone for good. That would be my guess at this point. Now, as for those of you who are just joining me now, I was called 10 times or so before the stream even started. I tried to call back at the beginning, Ren Law Firm LLP. So if this channel goes down, you know who did it. So reach out to them and tell them what you think of their lawfare. Anyways, moving on. Andrew Sean for 1999 says, allegedly, GG, allegedly, is definitely, allegedly, a glorified bull for allegedly unsatisfied housewives and their allegedly cucked husband. Allegedly, don't sue me. I don't want to explain this to my lawyer. Allegedly. That sounds like a very definitive statement coming from Andrew Sean. Thank you very much for the $20, Andrew. Let me pull that one up so that you guys can see that, because that's a bit of an odd one. A bit of an odd one. All right, so Adam Undolf 38, which is an anagram for damn you Adolf, which is also funny because that's part of a lot of his skits, says, I'm a kind, down-to-earth guy that helped many families conceive children. My sperm count is extremely high. Now that kind of parrots what we've seen in other DMs and audio, right? So all this stuff is circumstantial. None of this is definitive. It's all circumstantial. My sperm count is extremely high, and I'm typically successful on the first try. I'm open to being involved or just donating. Whatever works best for you. 6'1" with gray blue eyes and brown hair. I'm kind and love helping families conceive. I've helped 9 families so far.
Breeding.
So the meme about flannel daddy, this guy might legitimately have, allegedly, if these horrendous slanderous rumors are true, 20 plus kids, right? I mean, like there's a lot. Not to mention when you get some of the other.
Not only, but they're illegal. What about naturalized? What about the ones that were born here? What about the DACA kids that had no choice in this, right? They had no choice in this. They were just born here. What about veterans? You know, there's veterans that are deported all the fucking time, right? People that serve in the military, join from a foreign nation to serve in the military, haven't been granted their citizenship yet, and get deported all the fucking time. I just saw a guy that had just gotten back. So basically, he served in the military honorably for 4 years. He re-upped. He was out on leave with his wife and got busted with marijuana, and he got deported. He went to jail, military jail, and then as soon as he finished his sentence in the military jail, he was deported back to Mexico. Dude's never even lived in Mexico.
The other stuff, like, I'm just saying, fake, exactly. Tree Stuffer, the random is about to give you a high five himself. Fake, very fake. Do you think it includes his own? Well, he says 9 families. So if you take that down to 7 families, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. And I don't know how many kids he has. I think it's 5 or more from his 2 wives, not including alternates. Yeah, literal white things, Tom, yeah. Oh, yeah, so which trans YouTuber? There was a thing about apparently him DMing Tactical Girlfriend, who was a troon. And then the Tactical girl in quotation marks, posted it before they went on some sort of marriage podcast together. Very awkward. Very, very awkward. Caveman 40 says, when are you playing piano for? I can play piano for you if you really want, but I have to go off screen to move the gun out of the way because I can't touch that on screen. None of that tactical GFBS was true. Well, that's good. If that's not true, that's good. Again, all this stuff is nonsense, right? This is all just jokes, fun games. John 77499 says, amazing that you can still procreate despite all the steroids. God is great. I guess. I mean, yeah. Usually when you're on stuff, it shuts down your natural production, right? So apparently the man still got it. 3080 still kicking. Andrew Sean for 199. Thank you very much. So he says definitely getting blocked now. Possibly. HSP spec. So yeah, that's what we went through. Yeah, let me see your spec jackal real trip. I really want to see it. Got to slur my words even more. Andrew Sean for 199. Thank you, sir. GT confirmed gay. Allegedly confirmed. The Black Ops 6 game mode, allegedly, or kill allegedly, not kill confirmed, kill allegedly. DS88 for 499 says, play the voice clips one more time in sequence, of course. Maximum kek, please. The season 1 recap, as it were.
Do you know that when COVID happened, that there was an actual calculable, you could take data on it, that a comorbidity, right, something that makes you more likely to die when you get COVID, that you can track a comorbidity in every fucking state, that the more you supported Trump, the more likely you were to die from fucking COVID? That's wild.
So tell me about your day and what you were up to. I'm just heading off to go film again. Been super busy the last few days, just filming. But it's going good. So how are you? Oddly enough, I'm thinking about you a lot. Is that good? I think that's good. Things that like you. it makes me wild hearing you moan my name. I can't wait to just come deep inside your pussy without ability.
Let me see your ass, Sterling. I really want to see it.
So tell me about your day.
Wrong button. Just a regular guy says, so did Miranda do this shit or not? No, definitely not. That is, the lawyers are telling me no, he did not do it. He didn't do it. It's all fake. It's all fake and gay, sir. That is what the law firm is telling me to say, and that's what I'm going with. It's all fake and gay. Diddy Thumb Simps will say it's fake. Very true. It is fake. I don't know what you're talking about. Do not come. Do not come.
This is a wild story about Ren Thumb. I know we've been talking about other stuff in the middle of it, but this is the same man that like in fucking March, when he just said it'll go away, poof, it'll just disappear, and you'll be like, where'd it go?
All right, guys. I think that's it. We went through just about everything. There is kind of sad to see. Now, again, if any of this is
and then you got people like Elon Musk. Someone made a post. Alex Soros made a post about RFK being in charge of health or his plan for the health agencies, and they said they are playing with fire. Americans will be screwed if there's another pandemic, and I believe that's true. If RFK is in charge of our medical agencies, our health agencies, and he's the man Trump listens to, if we have another pandemic, we're gonna be fucked because RFK's a goddamn retard. Elon Musk replies to that tweet and says, scamdemic. So how well do you think that next one's going to go over?
If any of this stuff is true, Ren Thumb needs some help, right? In this isn't like point and laugh and make fun of him for this stuff forever. If true, he's done some bad things. You can recover from this. His YouTube is still going to be doing quite well. I would recommend taking some time off and really focusing on yourself and your family. And I mean, yeah, get your stuff together. That's what I would say. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. I'll replay the intro for all of you while I'm getting out of here. So thank you once again for showing up, for being here. God bless. Something I should say is you might not see me in the next one, so it's been fun.
There you go, Ren Thumb, everybody. Everything's wild. Tucker Carlson, couple things. Tucker Carlson thinks that he was physically mauled by demons in his sleep, and that's what made him a better man. Second, Tucker Carlson says that nobody in the world can point to the exact time that nuclear sciences were found out by humanity. So he thinks that nuclear in general, so like energy production, weapons, whatever, was given to us by demons.
The presence of evil is kickstarting people to wonder about the good.
That's what happened to me.
That's what happened to you?
Oh, yeah. I had a direct experience with it.
In the milieu of journalism or just...
Nope. In my bed at night, and I got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs in the bed and mauled. Physically mauled.
Mauled by a demon.
In a spiritual attack by a demon?
Yeah, by a demon. Or by something unseen that left.
Is that right?
Claw marks on my sides, on my...
So he left physical marks?
Oh,
Wait, you were in the bed with your wife and 4 dogs? And something clawed you, and you went immediately to demon.
There.
Over a year and a half ago, he says, Tucker Carlson was mauled by a demon. But that's not all.
Changed profoundly in August of 1945, and it's reflected in the culture, it's reflected in the architecture, the art, the design, the literature. Nothing was the same after the end of the Second World War. Again, it's not a pro-Nazi statement, it can be more anti-Nazi. Obviously, I'm an American. I care about this country, and what happened to it after 1945 is a very clear demarcation line, and it seems obvious to me that nuclear weapons are demonic, there's no upside to them at all, and that anyone who claims otherwise is either ignorant or doing the bidding of the forces that created nuclear.
Doing the bidding, nuclear weapons are demonic, and if you claim otherwise, you're doing the bidding of the forces that created nuclear weapons.
nuclear weapons are demonic. There's no upside to them at all, and that anyone who claims otherwise is either ignorant or doing the bidding of the forces that created nuclear technology in the first place, which are not human forces, obviously.
No, wait, hold on. When Tucker Carlson said the nuclear weapons are demonic, you think he was saying the result of using them is so devastating to humans, it's demonic. But that's not what he's saying at all.
Oppenheimer, and this is what's so chilling when you say about secular, he used, I think it was the Hindu god Vishnu, they called the project the Trinity Project, right? And at the very test there in New Mexico, he quoted with the god Vishnu about now, I'm the destroyer of worlds, right? Don't you find that chilling? Or is that tied to yours? Since that time, it's been we've now dropped the spiritual, which even Oppenheimer realized in The Greatest Generation. We kind of went to what is a totally materialistic secular society that leads America to this place in 2024, and the instrument of its turnaround or its rejuvenation is a guy like Donald Trump. Well, we didn't drop the spiritual. We just embraced, another element of it. I mean, if you're quoting a pagan god as you're incinerating civilians with a nuclear weapon, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that was the pivot point in America's history. And it's just so interesting how resistant a lot of people who I consider friends who I agree with on most things are to acknowledging that. To call you pro-Hitler, you're a Holocaust denier if you question the nuclear weapons or whatever. I don't care. Of course, I'm none of those things. It goes without saying, or it should. No, I'm just noting the obvious.
We can already see that Steve Bannon, the convict who's fresh out of federal prison for evading the January 6th committee subpoenas to further incriminate Trump, is on this narrative for the sake of turning it into a story of his leader being the superhero that we all need to deliver us from the demons of 1945. But let's let Tucker talk about more of the obvious.
And let me just ask you this, which I've asked a million people at dinner parties, never in public. What was the moment we can point to that nuclear technology was invented? We can point to Isaac Newton and say, well, that fell on his head, or we can point to Albert Hoffman in his lab messing around with the ergot bacteria. That's when LSD was made. I've never met a person who can isolate the moment where nuclear.
This just isn't true, right? So a nuclear nuclear reaction was first discovered by accident, and then there's sustainable fission. You can go through all the dates that all this stuff happened, right?
Technology became known to man. And so where did it come from exactly? Oh, German scientists in the 30s. Really, when? Name the date. And I've never heard anybody do that. It's very clear to me that these are demonic. I mean, these are evil. Their only purpose is to destroy the innocent, to murder the innocent. They've only been used once. And I think there's an interesting ethical debate about their use, which human right or whatever. But if you take 3 steps back, you can say, well, wait a second. If you end up killing, incinerating tens of thousands of civilians, that's just a bad thing. Let's just be honest, that's just a bad thing.
Now, I'm no expert on the origins and development of nuclear technology, but considering all it took was a 5-second search, I discovered multiple domestic and international informational pieces that would give these guys the answer that they've yet to hear about. But there was something he said at the end that applies to more than nuclear.
Yeah, he's trying to lean into that Christian nationalist retarded people. Like, there's no date you can point to where nuclear weapons were invented. So it must be from demons. Look at this meme. That's pretty fun. Trump appoints demon girl from the ring as head of the FCC, Federal Communications Commission. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. An FCC? Come on now. I just saw something else I want to see here.
These Jubilee roundtables on YouTube. I still haven't quite figured out how it works. But apparently there's like 25 people. I think they do this with liberal commentators too. At one point they'd asked me to do it, but I think it was like this week or next week or something like that.
So the way this works is 1 versus 25 usually, or 20, 25. And they all have red flags. So the first one to get to the seat gets to discuss whatever the chosen topic is. They announce the topic. And the first one that gets to the seat gets to start for a certain amount of time. And then if you hold up your red flags, if more than half the people, so if it's 25, if 13 red flags come up, you're done and someone else gets to do it.
I want to do it. I mean, it's worth doing, I think. Yeah. It'd be fun. But I got to say, like, I'm impressed with the people they get for these, to sit on the perimeters. I don't know if they're college students or what. I don't know where they come from. But Ben Shapiro sat down with them, and I think we'll see more of these clips as it goes on over the next couple of days. But what happens is, I think he reads something, a question, and then people run to the chair, and the first person who gets to the chair actually gets to engage for something like 15 minutes or something. Like you can see the clock in the background.
And the one person is the one who makes the claim. So you can come in there and be like, my first claim is that Trump supporters are a cult or whatever.
And this person, we don't know his name. He is I think he's a Harris voter, but I'm not sure. He first, Shapiro reads out something about immigration. He sits down, and the first thing the guy says is, like, I'm not happy with Harris's seemingly rightward turn towards immigration, but then begins to engage Ben Shapiro, and here's what happens.
I don't believe that it's an economic benefit to the United States to bring in a low-skill, low-education labor pool that is drawing significantly from public benefits. For example, there are very good data to show that there's huge reliance on, say, emergency rooms, educational facilities. Based on the Center for Immigration Studies, there's a net cost to low-wage, low-skill immigration coming into the country.
You're in favor with emergency rooms just deterring people based on what they look like or what might be perceived as someone with a lack of citizenship?
No, I'm very much in favor of limiting the amount of illegal immigration to zero and then allowing a fair bit of legal immigration.
So you're more interested in decreasing the pool of people and population in this country so there are less emergency room visits, or are you more in favor of actually documenting these people so we're able to track, like, exactly exactly who is coming through. Like, I'm kind of black and white.
It's not about number. It's about the people who are coming in. I believe that everybody who comes into this country should come in through a legal mechanism, and that the United States ought to be able to select.
Oh, he's about to get smoked.
The people who are coming in are the best, brightest, and most useful to the American population, because that is the prerogative of any nation.
So do you think that the way that we do allow people in through a legalization process, especially with how much egregious obstacles people have to go through, might incentivize people to come through non-legal means?
I mean,
on average, it takes about 10 years for somebody to gain citizenship in this country. And if somebody is fleeing political persecution, I really find it interesting how conservatives always like to talk about the response.
What I found fascinating about that moment, and if I had any note, and I think this guy is exceptional at what he's doing, I probably should replace me. I don't think it could address it better than he's about to. But Shapiro has no idea what he's talking about when he says, do you think the incredible hurdles that are created for legal immigration in this country incentivize people to come here illegally? Shapiro's just like, what? I mean, he either doesn't understand how the question is phrased, which it doesn't seem like, but I don't think he knows anything about the immigration process whatsoever.
Because all the stuff about the process and the legality is just there as window dressing for the right. 100%. And they don't want immigration at all. Or I would also argue there's another class of right-winger that likes immigration to be and legal immigration to be as difficult as possible, because they know there will be some migration and people coming into this country seeking a better life or to make money, and that when they're when they're working for bosses, they can pay them lower wages, no benefits. They don't get, have to pay for their health care, right? It allows for them to be exploited. And if they get a little bit too, they're not compliant enough, oh, why don't I just call ICE on your ass? I mean, there are bosses that say that. And I just also want to note, Shapiro cites about the drain on our hospital system from the Center for Immigration Studies. That was founded by a eugenicist. Yes. There is it's just, they have nothing except the racism. And then they build up this fortress of details to make it seem like they're making some real highfalutin point, but that's all it is.
There's a lot more data that suggests that the net is a positive in terms of tax dollars that get paid into U.S. coffers by immigrants who are undocumented and will not see things like Social Security benefits as a function of all the money they have put into these tax coffers. But let's continue here. And I should also say, what constitutes most useful? When Georgia, several years ago, I can't remember, was it 8 years ago now, instituted a policy of severe punishment of immigrants being hired. A ton of Georgia peaches stood on those trees and just dropped. And it was the agricultural industry. It was like, we need these people. We need these people. So, what constitutes...
Yeah, our farms, there's already farmers complaining they can't get work already, and they don't know what they're going to do when deportation starts.
Most useful for Ben Shapiro, I think it may be actually different from what constitutes most useful. Go ahead.
On average, it takes about 10 years for somebody to gain citizenship in this country. And if somebody is fleeing political persecution, I really find it interesting how conservatives always like to talk about the response to certain behaviors instead of what the root cause is. When oftentimes United States foreign policy is what creates the destabilization of countries, which is why people try to come to places where they can get economic benefit. I mean, your employee, Matt Walsh, was kind of school on this with Ryan Grimm, where he talked about specifically Haitian policy, where the government of Haiti has been destabilized over and over again by Western imperial nations, so that those citizens are trying to do something with political persecution.
I mean, is it your contention that anytime there's a destabilized nation across the world, even if the United States had a hand in it, then we then have a moral obligation to take in every citizen of that country, which is to flee?
No, I think that's a huge straw man. I'm not saying that every single person from a destabilized country needs to take refuge in the United States, but I think it's important to add that context so you understand why people are coming here.
It's a case for different foreign policy. It's not a case for an immigration policy.
The idea is people are coming in here to mooch off of our emergency rooms or mooch off of our social services.
No,
which is not true.
I mean, that's a big contention. That's not my contention. My contention is I'm not claiming that the intent of people is to mooch off the system. The result of people is that they may be a net draw on benefits rather than a net contributor to the economy of the United States or to the culture of the United States, because I want people who are coming here who actually have some sort of belief in, say, American-style freedoms. I don't think everybody from all over the world has the same ideology.
Pause it right there. Wait a second. Pause it for one second. All right, so he pivots because he knows when he starts talking about and if you notice, I think he knows this is a lie, because he said that his tax thing said they are a greater draw on welfare and emergency rooms. Well, that may be true than your average, and I don't know how this is measured, but it's conceivable because they're not allowed into.
I think, was it Harvard that did a study, and it was they did a study on the 3.5% rule, where there has never, ever, ever, ever. First of all, your orders of magnitude more likely to succeed with a peaceful protest than you are with a violent one, right? Like an armed conflict or even committing, hand-to-hand violence or whatever. Second, there's never, ever, 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 ever been a group of people fail to bring about change by protesting or whatever they're doing, right? Peaceful disobedience, whatever it may be, that 3.5% of the population or more was part of it, that it didn't succeed. So it only takes 3.5% of the population to force change, basically.
Certain systems like Obamacare in certain areas. And so they may go to the emergency room. I would imagine if you're an undocumented immigrant, you're far less likely to have access to even health insurance. So that may be true. But when he gets into net, when he talks about taxes, he sort of runs through it because he wants to talk about, the cultural aspects now, right? So it's not really about who's most useful. It's about the culture. And what culture is he talking about? Like, what culture is it that we have in America? Is it hardworking? Because there isn't a shred of data that doesn't suggest that on net, migrants work significantly, undocumented migrants work significantly harder than your average American. Like, I mean, there's just, there's no question about it. You've got people working 2-3 jobs so they can send home a couple dollars to their families. So what culture is it? Is it like commie culture? Like, what culture is it that he's talking about?
The culture of people's blood. That's the blood that's being poisoned. And he moves to culture when he's confronted about foreign policy.
Exactly.
Because if you were to ask him, like Ben Shapiro, what would you change about our foreign policy so maybe we don't displace people and we don't destabilize countries? He would have no answer to that because he's, for example, been saying that the United States has been too restrained and should be allowing Israel to kill as many Palestinians as possible. So he wants to have it both ways. He wants a belligerent foreign policy, at least as it relates to Israel, but for there not to be blowback and displacement that could affect the great empire. And so his arrogance is on display by this guy.
Or to the culture of the United States, because I want people who are coming here who actually have some sort of belief in, say, American-style freedoms. I don't think everybody from all over the world has the same ideology.
So you're aligning with Nick Fuentes that, like, a lot of these people just don't have the exact same culture. People don't have culture and they can't come here. I know that you're making that face. I know that he's an individual that you guys obviously disagree. He's somebody that's, like, increases calls for violence against people of certain communities. I'm not saying that you're identical, but I'm saying on this issue in particular,
literally makes videos trying to stab me. So
this disdain in your face, though. Like, this is the type of disdain I have for the exact ideology that you guys are in.
I don't understand why there's anything wrong with the idea that you ought to screen people for their viewpoint. Of course, people can assimilate.
They're destroying our culture. They're destroying our bloodline. They're destroying our,
we ought to select from
our gene pool.
Most likely to assimilate. That doesn't mean that everybody has it. Do you think everybody on Earth has an equivalent ideology trying to get into the country? We shouldn't screen for ideology at all.
How would you screen for ideology? Like,
I mean, I'm glad he's asking this question. Like, what an ideology? Now, what is that? Like, what?
A test. Are you American-like enough? Are you Christian enough? Are you? Can you be wide enough here?
We have perhaps the most polarized country we've had probably since the Civil War in terms of at least ideologically speaking. I wonder, like, what ideology? What's the ideology that sits outside of where we're at?
Terror.
You can't have a valid, sort of like a communist to sneak into the country. I got news for you. They're going to be very disappointed when they find out what a system we have. If they're looking for a communal property, like, I'm curious as to what ideologies he's talking about.
But this is
it religious fundamentalism?
Yeah, I mean, like but the certain kind of religion, this is when racists knew they couldn't basically talk about black people and say the N-word in that way or whatever. They moved to, well, there's a problem with the fathers and they've got to pull their pants up, and it's this ideology that is a part of the black community. They've got to be responsible for themselves. So he's trying. This guy is connecting him in Fuentes, which makes. He's so offended. Ben Shapiro is a Jewish person, but he's right to point out that their ideology is much more similar than Ben would like to admit.
Yeah, on certain topics, they're exactly the same. They believe almost the exact same thing, but when you bring that up because a guy has other baggage with him, Ben Shapiro will immediately deny it.
Because it is, even though he says it's about their belief system, we get to pick from a pool of people. He would probably, first of all, that's not a smart way to run an immigration system, but when it comes down to it, it's basically about banning swaths of people from coming into this country from places that he doesn't like, their ideology. But that really probably means Muslim people at the end of the day.
Hey guys, Tim Miller from The Bulwark here. I did another one of these debates on the Piers Morgan show with Steven Crowder, who is this noxious, like, debate me bro, look at me bro guy that I'm sure you've seen somewhere on YouTube. And we had to do this whole phony, WWE kayfabe thing where they pretended like regular MAGA Americans were really offended by Joe Biden. And I thought it was my job on the show to just remind people that Steven Crowder and Donald Trump's whole existence is to offend. Like, the whole reason why Donald Trump has a political career is advancing a lie about Barack Obama's birthplace, a racist lie. Steven Crowder, if you don't know him, you can just Google it and see about his career of attacking gay people, attacking trans people, attacking women, wanting no-fault divorce, which is particularly notable given the divorce in his life. So, like, these are people that target vulnerable people, and then when they get a fastball thrown back at them, they cry foul. So y'all know, if you're on this channel, that I wasn't a huge fan of Biden's comments, but I'm also not a huge fan of phony assholes. And so that's why I took on this debate. Subscribe to this feed if you want more from me and Steven Crowder right now. Donald Trump's never called anybody garbage. Donald Trump called Kamala Harris's advisors garbage just like the other week. Donald Trump said America is a trash can and the world is sending their garbage, which is migrants here. Donald Trump's called me and other people that oppose him in the media the enemy of the people. He's called people human scum. He said that Haitian migrants were eating cats. Do we need to keep doing this? Like, we're going to pretend to be offended on behalf of Donald Trump. And Steven Crowder, by the way, his whole career, as why he's on Rumble, not on YouTube. He got kicked off YouTube because all he does is insult gay people, insult trans people. The only garbage I know is Steven Crowder and Donald Trump. So they're garbage. I don't think all Donald Trump supporters are garbage. I think that many of them are good people that have been misinformed by Donald Trump and Steven Crowder's lies.
Look at his smug ass fucking face.
Tim Miller, what I would say is, people on the left are very...
I wonder if Steven Crowder's wife thinks he's garbage.
Quick to be very offended by Trump's rhetoric. This has been going on for 8 years now. This guy talks in a disparaging way about people. It's unacceptable. It's awful. Blah, 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 blah.
Right. Trump has spent all this time saying this horrible shit, and then Biden says the only garbage I see is his supporters, and they melt the fuck down? Are you shitting me?
But you think nothing as a group are constantly...
It's almost like everybody subconsciously knows that Trump's a fucking child with bad parenting, and everybody else is supposed to be above it, right? Everybody else is supposed to be above it. Like, Biden can't say anything negative about anybody, but Trump can do it because that's just Trump. The fuck?
Flashing the Nazi word around, fascist, Nazi, and now garbage.
I'm not, like I said, the only people I called garbage were Donald Trump and Steven Crowder because they've acted like garbage by disparaging people their entire careers. Like, that was the whole premise of both of these two guys' careers. Donald Trump's just been a little bit more successful at it. So Joe Biden's statement, I think, was like totally nonsensical marble mouth, and I was maybe one of the most vocal people saying Joe Biden shouldn't run for president again. Joe Biden is running for president. Kamala Harris is running for president. And she gave a speech on the Ellipse where she talked about how MAGA voters would have and MAGA politicians
saying he only wants
in her administration. So you guys are trying to make something out of nothing, and you're trying to do this fake outrage where it's like in soccer, Piers, where you guys are flopping. You're flopping on the ground hoping the refs call a foul on Joe Biden when Donald Trump's whole career has been insults and lies and disparaging people, and also his actual actions have been hurtful. You know, the sexual assault that he committed on women, the fact that he banned people from coming to this country based on their religion, the separating of family. We could just go on and on about Donald Trump's behavior, the cops that got injured at the Capitol because of the riot that he started. So Donald Trump, it's not just his words, it's his actions that have been harmful. And you guys can get mad about what the soon-to-be former President Joe Biden incomprehensibly said, but he's not running against Joe Biden, and it seems like a desperate ploy to put on.
Right. He meant the people that would say something about. He meant the people that would say the thing that was said that Puerto Rico was a floating garbage or whatever, floating island of garbage.
Fancy costume and dress up like an Oompa Loompa.
Thank you. Again, I'm really going to avoid ad hominem, which is really tough because it seems to be coming from the other side of this panel here.
Well, I will note for the record that you have not gone ad hominem. And Tim, to be fair, all you've done is abuse Steve on a personal level. I actually like to rise above that.
His whole career is all he's done is attack gay and trans people. Now he's getting offended, being called out for it. Just Google his history of his comments about gays, trans people, women. He is Mr. Ad hominem. So don't try to be like, oh, I'm Mr. Nice Guy now. Come on, give me a break. Let's be honest.
Tim Miller, I want to talk to you directly about the fact you went down to confront the MAGA mastermind Steve Bannon when he was released from prison at his press conference, and Bannon decided to have a bit of fun at your expense. Let's take a look.
This is Tim Miller, one of my favorite guys from MSNBC and The Bulwark. He used to be the spokesman for the Republican. When I met him as a younger man, he was the spokesman for the RNC, the old RNC, the establishment RNC, the RNC of Mitt Romney, not the RNC of Donald Trump. Go ahead. Question.
Tim, I mean, you went down, you quizzed him on whether he would attempt another coup as an encore to January 6th, and Bannon gave quite a serious response. Let's take a look at that.
Nancy Pelosi gave an interview to Rolling Stone magazine. She said her number one priority is to make sure that Donald Trump is not only not elected a re-elected president of the United States, but he never sets foot in the White House. Nancy Pelosi and Jamie Raskin right now are thinking about, and they're very open about it, of not certifying a Trump victory on November 5th.
So Tim, I think I'll leave us in a few minutes. Just your response really to what Bannon said there.
Well, that comment is based on nothing. I do think that there's kind of a delusion in there's sort of this every accusation is a confession a little bit sometimes with people in MAGA where it's like they're not going to certify the election, like we didn't certify the election. If Donald Trump wins, the Democrats are going to certify the election last time, just like the Democrats did in 2000, in a much, much, much closer election than 2020 when Al Gore conceded to George W. Bush after his legal challenges had been exercised. Donald Trump didn't do that. And when I asked you,
it turns out Gore won that election.
There, and I've quizzed Steve many times. I interviewed him on the circuit several times. We've gone back and forth, and so it wasn't like I was confronting him. They invited me to the press conference. And when I asked him, there was he got out of prison, and I was wondering if sometimes when people get out of prison, they feel like they're reformed, and they look back on their actions and they say, you know what, maybe I went too far. Maybe in 2020 by advancing these lies about the election, I thought it was all part of the political game, but then things got out of hand. Dozens of police were injured. The vice president had to be scurried off by Secret Service. The vice president's life was in danger. Senators and House members' lives were in danger. I was really the ringleader of pushing that in the media, in the MAGA media world. And given that the results ended up so disastrously for the country and for those individuals who were harmed that serve our country, maybe those 4 months in low security prison, he had a chance to reflect on that and say, you know what, next time I'll do things differently. And I got to say, I was pretty alarmed that the answer to that question was no. He did not. He doesn't see that he'll do any change. And if we are in a similar situation this time, I think both him and Donald Trump will act the same way. And I find that very alarming.
It sounds like he did kind of put Steven Crowder in his place. I haven't seen the full thing, but not too bad. Let's see this. Romney Beth update. I got to get home soon, guys.
Here's how you end up in a war with China in one easy tweet. Political commentator Charlie Kirk put out a letter to Russia saying he only wants peace. I'm at a NATO conference in Brussels right now, and one of the things I've learned is that if we do not support Ukraine, we will be fighting China in 2 or 3 years. China intends to invade Taiwan.
About 2027, 2028. Probably a spring window. They're going to invade Taiwan.
In October 2027 or April of 2028. China is actively destroying American manufacturing jobs. They are putting deadly chemicals on our street, and they think we are weak. If we don't support Ukraine, they will think we are even weaker, and they will take that as a green light that they can invade Taiwan in 2027 or 2028, and we won't do anything about it. The fact is that arming Ukraine now with weapons, not even soldiers, just weapons, puts America first because ultimately it will deter China, and that will save American lives.
So helping Ukraine defend itself will, in fact, put America first, right? I agree with that.
Hey guys, I'm at NATO headquarters right now with my friend Ranger, and you know, today ATACMS missiles were finally used by Ukraine in Russia. And you know, I noticed something kind of interesting here. NATO headquarters isn't a lake of nuclear fire. Isn't that amazing? It's almost like if you push back, if you punch that bully in the nose, they'll actually fold. Now, Ranger, did you have fun today?
Oh, yeah.
That's the ATACMS missiles that they're using. So basically, the claim from the Russian spokesman was that he didn't think that Ukraine could use these missiles. It would have to be American soldiers. That's not true. Then when he kind of faced some pushback on that, well, he said, oh, well, these missiles are guided by satellites, and Ukraine doesn't have satellite capabilities, so they're using American information to attack. So that's the same as America pushing the buttons.
I had a lot of fun. I'll see you soon.
See you guys soon. Hey guys, I'm at NATO headquarters right now with my friend Ranger, and you know, today...
I like Rami Beth. He seems to have pretty level-headed takes. And he comes from the intel world, right?
In Brussels, Belgium at a NATO conference. I'm actually sitting outside this bakery. I just had the best eclair and bread of my life. And when I got here, I thought like, oh, you know, it's going to be great, you know, being in Belgium, because I can speak French. You know, bonjour madame, oui la guerre, at least enough to get by. I'm in the Dutch part of Belgium. Bedankt. That's all I got. All I got is bedankt, right? Oh my God! All this
seems like he's having a good time.
Freaking knowledge, and I'm still freaking stupid. So I'm here in Brussels, Belgium, at a NATO conference. I'm actually sitting outside this bakery. I just had the best eclair and bread of.
Seems like he's having a good time. Check out Rhyming Death. Biden releases ATACMS.
ATACMS is a long-range ballistic missile that can be fired from the HIMARS system or the MLRS system. So for the longest time, Ukraine begged for this particular weapon system, and
this is a weapon. So this is a weapon that they could technically use inside Ukraine, but the difference is they've been given the green light to use those on the Russian side. They're not destroying cities. They're not killing civilians like Russia claims. They're attacking troops that just stay on the Russian side, run in and hit, then run back, and think that Ukraine doesn't have the green light to attack them on Russian soil.
We finally gave it to them. We said, okay, you can use it, but you can't fire it at targets inside of Russia. And this is kind of the operational equivalent of a firefighter showing up at your house and just getting the fire damp. And for the longest time, America's strategy with Ukraine has been, let's give them enough weapons to stay alive, but not so much that they actually win. And this is
It's the ATACMS is the Army tactical missile system, I think.
Really stupid strategy. Russia doesn't need an
It's the MGM-140.
Excuse to get mad. They do that naturally. And I think the idea behind this strategy is that whenever a weapon is employed, parts survive after that weapon is detonated. And there's always a chip or a component or a valve that has Lockheed Martin stamped on it along with the serial number. And Russia parades that out and say, look what the Americans are doing to us. But I think kind of the brilliance of the Kursk incursion is that it showed Russia's pretty toothless. If Russia didn't do that much when their motherland was invaded by Ukraine, they're probably not going to do that much when they find a piece of debris with an American manufacturer's stamp on it. Now, as of right now, it's unclear as to whether ATACMS use is only allowed around the Kursk region or whether the leash has been taken off. And
by the way, we're giving Ukraine our old weapons, and they're fucking destroying. I think the ATACMS have been in service since like 1990. Like, we haven't even rolled out the new shit.
Ukraine can use them anywhere inside Russia that they want to destroy logistic sites. Either way, this is a
logistic sites
win for Ukraine. I just wish.
And you better believe that there's some watchdog over this, making sure they're not targeting cities or schools or whatever, because it would look too bad on the U.S. as a state, even if we had nothing to do with it. We didn't push a button. We didn't give them the targeting data. They did it themselves, but they shot a school. That still looks horrible on the U.S., right? So you know they've got a ton of oversight in it.
Wish we had done it 2 years ago, but if I had some ham, I'd have some ham and eggs. If I had some eggs. Okay, I gotta catch that 6 o'clock flight to Brussels for a NATO meeting. Jack Ryan, you ain't got nothing on me.
Look out. So I wouldn't worry too much about fucking the bark coming out of Russia. I just don't think it's that big a deal. It happens every few months. This one, just because it was with some missiles and a new escalation, getting a lot of press, especially now that we have a president and a president-elect, and they have two different views on how this should be handled. It's just getting a lot of fucking press, right? Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. I got to get out of here. I got to try out my new headlights. Follow the TikTok. I've been posting content over there as often as I can. It's just easier to post there. I need to go through one day and take a bunch of the TikTok videos and put them on YouTube as well. Twitch doesn't have like shorts or recorded videos or whatever. I just replays. So follow one of those two. I would prefer TikTok because you'll get to see it a lot quicker. Consider supporting the stream while we're offline. I greatly appreciate it. Help us out while we're both unemployed and trying to rebuild and shit after the flood. That'd be great. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, showing up here, sticking around. I promise we'll get back to a more regular schedule when everything calms down. I've been waking up early every morning, working all fucking day at the campground, and then still coming in here and streaming, and I have to hike in, hike out. It's just a lot to do. So, hopefully, as that starts to settle down and some of the rebuilding efforts gets underway, we'll be back to maybe a regular schedule. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do, if I'm going to stay there. Or I'm trying to get my disability through the VA fixed or raised, basically, to the level I think I should be at. That might help the job search, where I don't have to find a new job and go back out on the road or something that would end the stream. But we'll see. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being here. Support the show while offline. Support the rebuilding of the campground. That would be great. And we'll see you about on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well listen bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6 cents for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of.
Have a good night, guys.
Worshiping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, beating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Opened his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files.